Kuhnel couldn't find the plate, walking 3 and giving up 3 runs. In the bottom of the 10th, Milwaukee scored 2 and had the bases loaded with nobody out and the tying run on third. But a shallow fly out and a double play ended it. Still at the halfway point of the season, the Brewers do have 50 wins.
Yeah, I think we've done all right. Obviously we haven't played bad, but I don't think we've played to the level we're capable of. I wouldn't say that we've done the best job that we could do. We've played the best that we could play.
That's Christian Yelich. The Brewers still have a 5.5-game lead in the Central. Their homestand continues tonight, game 1 of a 4-gamer against the Reds. First pitch is at 6:40. And at the World Cup on Sunday, Canada is through to the round of 16. They beat South Africa 1-0. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake up!
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras.
Take the cameras off the field and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Diller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We're going to tackle what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to boil down to. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after him and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C-puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid.
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
And Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Locked and loaded, ready for action on a Monday in the good land. It is the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live, Facebook, X, and YouTube. I'm Drew Olson. Bill Schmid out today and this week, enjoying some family time, as he is very, very well entitled. So we're skating shorthanded for a little bit. We're going to soldier on. I'm Drew. There's Armen.
Good morning, Drew. How are you?
Armen, you're going to have to be, you have to step up your game.
Yes, I'm going to have to be the number 2 that, the number 3 that steps up when the number 2 goes down with injury or what I'm going to have to be the 6-out save guy, right? In those situations, so many sports metaphors in that situation, Drew, but we will soldier on as we start the new week, a hot week. As we know, this weather is going to be really changing as we start today, and it's going to be heating up. So finally feeling like summer for some.
Oh, baby.
I know those of you by the big air conditioner in the lake sometimes feel that the early part of the summer, like when
I'm ready for it, man. I like hot weather. I like it warm. It's like, yeah. I don't complain because I live for the summers in Wisconsin.
I don't mind it at all. It comes down a lot of times to the humidity, right? Isn't that always the story? It's like, when does the humidity get too oppressive?
It's going to be this week.
And then it becomes a little bit, right?
The dew points are going to be miserable.
So I think dew point a lot of times is more important than temperature. I think it's like, it's like the old on base versus batting average thing. What's more important?
Exactly. Our friends who are visiting for the World Cup are going to be enjoying air conditioning. I'm sure they already are because it's been hot elsewhere. It's just been a late incubating summer.
Yeah, it has been.
We haven't had like upper 80s. It hasn't been consistently like 80s. It's very comfortable. It was cool. Like Summerfest. Put it this way. I've worn long pants more in this month of June than in probably the last 10 Junes put together.
I'd have to agree. It's one of those, and you're like, kind of like, okay, we're approaching July. When's summer going to start? And we've had nice days. Don't get me wrong. Kind of the reason some people love upper Midwest in the summer is for the relative temperate, nature of it, right, Drew? But some have said, all right, I want the sincere summer. I want the sincere summer weather, and you'll be getting it in droves. It'll punch you right in the face this week. So, as we always do, Drew, we enjoy what we didn't have for a few days because we wanted it, and then once we get it for a few days, we complain. So I'm sure that's what we'll be come Wednesday, Thursday. We'll be like, okay, it's too hot. When's it going to break? As is our nature. But yeah, it's really nice. The Lake Michigan water temp is always one to watch. And it feels like it's been a little bit, it's always kind of chilly this time of year. I stepped into it this weekend. Had a nice chance to
stepped into the lake?
To hit the beach and hit the lake a little bit with little Lena, her first steps into the Lake Michigan. Actually,
right.
But it is chilly always.
Wait, what was your access point? Did you go to Bradford Beach or something? Or?
We were
South Shore
in the northern part of Illinois for a kid's birthday party. That was one of the most exciting ventures as a young dad, the kid's birthday party. So we were there in kind of that, I don't know, Lake Forest area, whatever it is, and we had that there. So it was cold, but it was it was an experience to have. But it's always that time of the year you're like, all right, Lake Michigan, great, and then it's frigid. And then you're like, when does it warm up? And the lake temperature, I think, is a little bit chillier than normal because of that said cooler spring. But it always heats up eventually for the end of the year, just in time for summer to end. But that was a fun part of the weekend. It was Lena experiencing the sand for the first time, or one of the first times, and for sure the first time, the Lake Michigan water, which shocked her, to say the least. I think she expected something more comfortable.
All right, well,
yeah.
We welcome in our 5 o'clock clubbers today.
Indeed.
All of you that are up early, we call you insomniacs, early risers, just sociopaths waiting for the health club to open. Maybe people trying to, maybe it's going to be so hot that people, if you're a runner, you got to get your run in before it gets too oppressive. You got to, so maybe there will be more early risers perhaps this week than usual. But we welcome all to the 5 o'clock club. 5 o'clock club of the Huddle. Generally, we try to keep it laid back. We start our little dog and pony show starts after 6, when we'll take your game balls and kicks to the balls.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you can get them to us early, 877-794-1973 to the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. And I'm sure we're going to get a lot of people kvetching, pearl clutching about the Brewers losing 2 of 3 to the Cubs and looking abysmal in those situations that separate victory from defeat in Major League Baseball. Runners in scoring position, the offense has been anemic, and it's been that way for 10 days. And yet, if I'm not mistaken, and I didn't glance at the standings after yesterday's game, but I'm pretty sure the Brewers in their last 10 are 5-5. That sound about right?
It does sound right. I'd have to check that, but it sounds accurate. Yeah.
Because I always say, I've been saying it for years. When you're a good team, 500 should be your baseline. You should, that when you're playing badly, and I'm talking about your overall record. Indeed, the Brewers are 5-5 and lost 2 in a row to the Cubs, who picked up a game. They're 5.5 back from the Brewers in the division. So 5.5 up as we churn toward July. What if I had told you in February that the Brewers would be 50-31? They're still off to the best start, and yet it feels like they're not playing well, and it feels like something's got to happen. And I know there's a little panic because of what happened this weekend and the way the Brewers lost yesterday, particularly frustrating. But the last 2 games frustrating. The last week to 10 days, the offense has been tough to watch.
Yeah,
I don't know how they won those games in Cincinnati, but they did.
To your point, Drew, it is 5-5. But then if you go 3 games back from that, it's 8-5. So it's always a matter of where you put the measuring stick. But you're right, and how they did it was mostly pitching, and that's what's been impressive about this team. Is without the great pitching and the depth of pitching, where would they be? They certainly wouldn't be as good as they are. So there's 2 ways to look at it.
So I don't know. I mean, I haven't the national churn. It'll really fire up because we're getting close to the All-Star break. It's, the Brewers reached the midpoint of the season yesterday. They're 50-31, 81 games in. We're at halftime of the season.
Halfway across the desert. Yeah.
We'll get halftime of our show today at 6:30 when Dolph pops in, or 6:25 ish. And then Dolph will pop in. Oh, wait, is Dolph off today too? I think he's off today.
Okay, I'll have to check. I thought he was back for some reason.
I don't know. Did you have to make the coffee this morning?
No, it was here, and that was my first indicator that he might be here.
He might be here. I thought he was also off today, but
that could be accurate. I'll try and I'll check in on that.
I don't know, but
we'll figure it out.
But either way, we're going to have a halftime.
Right.
But the Brewers reach halftime, and it's going well, but it is frustrating. And the pitching, like the way Woodruff pitched, Logan Henderson had a good rehab start yesterday, and it's like maybe they don't need Tarek Skubal, maybe they do need a bat. And the idea that, and for all the calls and texts we got, Armen, about Joey Ortiz and got to do something. Cooper Pratt is getting caught with his rookie showing.
Yeah, a little bit.
He's getting, he's striking out on pitches at his eyes and in clutch situations. But he's not alone there. Yelich is struggling. Turang is struggling. They're just going through it. And I know it stings more when it's the Cubs because the Cubs came in and yesterday, I don't know how much you watched yesterday or how much you paid attention. I was at the ballpark yesterday.
Nice.
And it did. If you close your eyes when something good happened for the Cubs, you'd have thought you were at Wrigley Field.
You heard it hardcore. And
it was there, more pronounced than normal.
And I was there Friday, Drew.
Well, that's what I was going to ask because I buried the lead here because we want to do WWLW, which sounds like a radio TV station or something in Cincinnati. WLW. No, WWLW. What would Lena wear? What did Lena wear? WDLW. What did Lena wear? What did your child wear with her Cubs-loving mother and her Brewers-loving father attending a Brewers-Cubs game as part of a Purdue alumni gathering?
Yeah, we could put all that together.
What did Lena wear?
First of all, I got to say the Purdue Alumni Club did a great job. They had a couple little huts rented out for Gantner's Gardens there in the parking lot. The little Gantner's.
Okay. How big was the gathering? Was it over 100?
I'd say it was probably approaching 100, but it was probably closer to 60 or 80.
Are there that many Milwaukee or Wisconsin-based Purdue alums, or did they draw from Chicago too because it was the Cubs?
Good question. So that was kind of my first analysis was, are these going to be mostly Cubs fans that found a way to get to Chicago for a game easier? And I say it was, but there were some Brewer fans as well. So I was probably 30-70. There's probably 30% Brewers fans in that group and 70% Cubs fans. But in general, it was a nice event because they had a little tailgate set up and things like that. And we approached walking in. And so the idea that I had initially, and I was talking to Billy about this all last week, was the forecast was a lot chillier than at the beginning of the week for that game for Friday night. So I kind of anticipated a little chillier evening. So my goal was, and I lost out on the battle to have Lena in a Cubs t-shirt, but I was hoping that it would be chilly enough where she would need the sweatshirt. And that was my plan. But unfortunately, that backfired as the roof was closed. The roof was open earlier in the day, Drew. I drove by and checked. And then it was closed in the evening, but they kept the panels open, as you know. So just to keep it temperate, but a little bit of airflow going through, because I don't think there was a risk of rain. But as you know, stadium ops doesn't like to keep it. They like to keep it closed or open, right? They don't want to keep changing it around back and forth. So I said, oh, no, it's actually a lot warmer than we thought. What am I going to do here? So I made the move with little to no fanfare before I could get the big heave-ho and the big no, and bought Lena a hat. So she was truly a fan in conflict, as you can see. Cubs t-shirt, Brewer hat, and I consider that a win for the weekend. So here you go, Drew. You can check it out here. There she is in the Brewers hat, Cubs t-shirt, and her little yogurt puffs.
All right.
Watching the game like a true ball fan and a
ball fan, a ball knower.
So at this point, I settled for I cut my losses, and I said as long as I can get her in a Brewers hat, I'll let her sweat in the Cubs t-shirt, and we'll just have to deal with it. Laura made a good point that she said, when we go here just for a Brewers game, we put her in all Brewers garb. She goes, so really when she's here for Cubs Brewers, she should be able to wear some sort of Cubs gear. So I didn't want to fight it too much because there's only certain battles you pick. So she was looking cute either way, and I was happy with that. But that's what we settled on. My hope was that it would get a little chillier by the time we had to go and leave early for bedtime so I could put the Brewers zip-up hoodie on her, but unfortunately it didn't. It turned out to be a beautiful night. I mean, a really nice night and not chilly at all. So it was a good time. The only tough thing for Lena was when we went to the little on the field level, the kids area where, you can throw a baseball and run with the sausages. And she realized soon that she was still a little too young for a lot of these things. And therefore she'd have to watch the other kids throw baseballs and pretend they were a sausage and pretend they were William Contreras catching a ball. And so there'll be
her time will come.
Her time will come. And the Brewers have a great setup on terrace level for the toddlers. So,
but it is nice when, they do. And when it is nice though, when the kids watch older kids and kind of observe and
and experience
goals, life goals,
something to shoot for. Right.
Yeah.
So overall it was a good night because Mizorowski was dominating and the Brewers won that game. And so
the Cubs felt like they let that one get away.
They did. They felt like it because they had a chance early, obviously, but it was quite satisfying on Friday night. Then, of course, we as you mentioned, got into the Saturday and Sunday games. And the Brewers, I think, let the series get away. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just, it's been, again, frustrating couple of days. It's a dip in the season. But if the Brewers dip is when they're 5-5 out of 10, you'll take that.
You take it.
And it's just, you got to have the bigger picture. And I know everything is, there's the Cubs magnifier because their fans came up and it was Wrigley North again. And they kind of took it to the Brewers. They did on Saturday night when Chad Patrick blew up. They did it yesterday just because the Brewers couldn't get a hit. The Brewers still had a chance to win that game in the 10th inning.
Amazingly, right? I mean, that was the most remarkable part.
They absolutely should have.
I think you're right.
Loaded, nobody out.
Another chance by the wayside.
Yeah. So there's just many ways to look at it. But I'm not hearing a lot of Tarek Skubal thing because starting pitching is not the Brewers' biggest concern right now. It's offense. And if you think promoting Luis Lara to help is going to help because he's tearing it up in AAA, I just say look at Cooper Pratt's at bats right now, and
which is part of
he's going to help. It's a young thing. The Brewers they felt like they could absorb that. They knew he was going to go through it, and he is.
The process, right?
He's going to have moments like I thought yesterday. It's like, ooh, this would be a big moment for him if he could get a big hit here, and ended up not happening. But he wasn't alone. There were a lot of guys that didn't come up with big hits. So again, like I'm not that worried about the Brewers. They seem to be running on fumes a little bit, and they're playing this stretch of a rough stretch with no days off, got a doubleheader looming. They're just grinding until the All-Star break right now. So maybe there will be a step back, but look around. Atlanta just had an abysmal trip to the West Coast. They went 1-5. They lost to the Giants. Giants are terrible.
Terrible team.
Giants are showcasing everybody to see who they can trade. And Atlanta, as the Brewers, they're 5-5. It's awful. Well, the Braves have lost 7 of their last 10. And they were the hottest team going. Like you couldn't even imagine them losing a series. And that's just, it's #baseball.
That's baseball.
Don't panic. You're going to go through this. It's like team wide and it looks bleak right now. And I get it. It's frustrating. And there's the Cubs multiplier. Had the Brewers lost, 2 out of 3 this weekend to the Pirates or the Reds, it wouldn't sting as much as seeing those bastards in their royal blue. And what was KB's rant?
The BMW
bucket hat wearing
BMW driving 3 series,
exactly.
Eating Italian sausage eating. The reality is, Drew, you do become prisoner of the moment a little bit. Like when you take a wide
Lake
scale,
Forest fans are coming up here.
Palos Heights.
Yep.
When you take a wide scale view of things, you understand the situation, and teams will go through this. I mean, there's ups and downs every season, but you become a prisoner of the moment. And I understand it. Like I was there Friday. When you're in that moment, when both sides are cheering, when there's the opposing fans and what you think is your space, you get that competitive in you, and you get to feeling like every game now is, okay, this is it. We got to win this moment. We got to win this game because we've got to stuff it in the fans that are talking to me right there or cheering at me right there. But when you take the wide scale view of it, it really wasn't a disaster weekend because you didn't get swept. If you got swept, that's more of a disaster type weekend.
Absolutely.
It only leaves the bad taste because you won the first game and didn't get the series, which is all you can really hope for is 2 out of 3.
And should have.
I
mean, you get a leadoff triple from Andrew Vaughn, and you don't get him in.
And you got to get that run in. And that was the story of yesterday, right? More than I think the Kuna walks and the balls is the tack on runs that never came. And that was the story of the game. Drew, I feel like teams, things are contagious in baseball, hitting, not hitting. And maybe it's just anecdotal, but it does feel like sometimes you see a whole team starting to press, being aware of the fact that they're not hitting it with runners in scoring position. So therefore, the problem compounds upon itself psychologically. And then the whole team starts to press. And then that thing kind of succumbs to itself until it doesn't, right? Until you get out of those doldrums, which is kind of being stuck in the mud for a while. Is that what's happening here? Is that a real thing that you see in clubhouses? Guys will always say, we don't think about that or we're not bothered about that, but it does seem like that, at least to the naked eye sometimes.
Yeah, and that's what the Brewers are saying. Like everybody's trying to do their job. Everybody's trying to keep the line moving. And when it doesn't, and it's like, well, I'm going to pick that guy. It's like a compounding with interest. It's just the struggle. And again, like it's fleeting. When you're rolling, everybody feels like they're going to go up and get a hit. And at this point, they're squeezing the handle a little bit. You can it's a sense, but again, all these things are fleeting. So hit us up with your thoughts. 877-794-1973. Get us to your thoughts about the Brewers. Again, we got World Cup to talk about. We got NBA tampering and free agency firing up. That's going to be their version of the hot stove, which is actually the summer barbecue. Thankfully, we're in a period where the NFL has receded into the hedges and is letting the World Cup have a moment.
Yeah.
Women's golf have a moment on TV. Golf.
Couple NBA trades, but mostly World Cup golf.
Yeah, mostly World Cup and just baseball and just kind of just taking it as it comes, a little relaxing. We've got a Hunter Baumgardt Brewers update. We will spin through. In fact, I think Hunter joins us today.
He does. We'll talk to him at 7:20. 7:25.
7:25. We'll talk to Hunter Baumgardt. A tough weekend for him on a couple of levels. Like he missed his favorite artist not once but twice.
Brutal. I noticed that.
Russell Dickerson and Hunter. Long twisted history. We'll get into that with him. We'll talk about what's happened. We're 2 weeks into Summerfest. Summerfest had a pretty good rebound weekend. Pretty good crowds and pretty good musical acts, well received. And now we're into the damn summer. We got one more weekend of Summerfest here in Milwaukee. All kinds of festivals and events and reunions and gatherings and Purdue alumni gatherings all over the good land. So we're in the Tenderloin. We're about to be on to July. Billy's on vacation this week. We're going to soldier on without him. Little tease. At midweek, when we reach halftime of the week on Wednesday, Mr. Lucky Dobie Maxwell is going to be hanging out with us.
Exciting. That's exciting.
He's a morning guy. He gets up and walks his 15,000 steps, and he's going to put that on hold and come and join us.
When the squad rolls up at 4 a.m, they ask, "Who's this guy walking around the building?"
Yeah.
We're going to have to clear that up.
Yep, it's going to be wild. So, all right, we'll take a quick break. Our first of the day. We're glad you're hanging out with us, you members of the 5 o'clock club. Proud members of the 5 o'clock. Someday there will be 5 o'clock club merch. I don't know what day that will be. It might not be this show. It might be for some other show, but you're in the 5 o'clock club. You're listening to The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Monday edition of the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, streaming live, Facebook, X, and YouTube. Drew and Armen today. Billy off this week, enjoying some family time. I don't know if it's really a vacation when you got two kids that are under 3. I mean, he's not working, but
that's a good question.
You can make a case that what we do isn't really work. Anyway. Just come in here and chop it up with our buddies and just kind of,
I like to say it's different, Drew.
Have fun.
Yeah, it's a different kind of work.
It's a different kind of work.
You're still obligated to somebody else on your time.
True.
Doing something, but it is a more enjoyable work, no doubt about it. Sometimes
we're
thankful to do what we do.
We're not hanging drywall. And now,
not in this heat.
We talk about the heroes, and again, it's not hot yet, but it's going to be. It's by noon today. We're in it for a better part of a week.
It's going to be a hot one. Get your iron jack out.
Talking about heat index is way over 100. Miserable dew points and humidity. So air conditioners. So let's preemptively shout out or give. Well, we're not giving game balls till 6 officially, but game balls will go to people who have to work outside because we talk about them all the time in the winter. The guys who are below the sub-zero. This is the flip side of it. And I always love people. This is the age-old debate. Well, you can always put more clothes on, but you can only take off so much clothes. That's.
I can't stand that flawed argument. Okay, you can always put more stuff on. Yeah, but the cold's pervasive.
Yeah.
There are some.
You don't have to shovel heat.
Is it brutal? Is it brutal in the heat? It will be, and it's brutal today. But on our hottest days in the summer, I like to remind everybody it's better than our coldest days in the winter. However, I get a lot of pushback and disagreement with that, especially around these parts, which is fine. We can all have our different opinions on that, Drew. And that brings me to, you said, will the runners get the workout in early? Will the runners get it in before sunrise? It's a beautiful orange
will they just
moon.
take it inside to the treadmill?
Because there's a beautiful orange full moon out there. But it's also one of the age-old debates that I find myself dealing with. Not directly, but people always like to talk about it. How early is too early to get the lawnmower started in the summer?
Oh, yeah.
And does it change on a weekend or a weekday? I don't know if you have opinions on that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's not. I like to think to myself that snow blowing is a necessity sometimes. So you can't get on someone for doing it at 4 a.m. or 2 a.m. If they need to get out. But
the other thing is,
right?
great, because we work in studios and we know, like when you do podcast stuff, you're at home, you soundproofing.
Yes.
If there's enough snow that you have to snow blow it off the driveway, there's a lot of insulation and sound. Like, it's not as onerous as when the windows are open.
Yes.
And when someone's mowing their lawn next to you, especially in some of our communities where the homes are close together, right? So I would say it's less likely that you're going to be awakened by a snowblower in the winter than it is a lawnmower in the spring and summer.
Yeah, unless they have one of those like mini tractors, or I don't know what the right term is, plows that does the little beep beep back up. Sometimes
I can't stand, man.
That is a tough one.
Hey, especially like the UPS and FedEx trucks in my neighborhood, and they're constant. And these guys, like, why do they have to, when they're parked, why do they have to beep?
They have to make the turn and let you know.
Well, I'm just saying when they're parked, they're beeping, and the dude's like, we have I got a multi-unit condo building, and
so
people get a lot of stuff delivered
for like 10 minutes. It's sitting there. Yeah,
10 minutes out in front of the house beeping. Like, God, can't you just like take the keys out or something? Whatever it takes. Like, why is it anyway?
And we would.
That's more annoying to me than lawnmowers and stuff. But no, it's like, okay, at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whatever you want to call it, arbitrarily.
It's arbitrary.
7 or 8. Like if you have kids, that's not early anymore.
Not early. No, it's just part of life. Like even the shift we do, we're used to obviously odd hours. But if you're getting up at 7 and you see this is going to be 90 and you can knock that thing out when the sun's coming up, it's tempting. But if somebody's sleeping at 7:30, I can't help you, guy. Now, if it's 5 a.m. or 6 a.m, I get it. But
community standards, like if you live in a subdivision or if there's an HOA, like if
they probably set rules on that.
Pools only open during certain hours of the day and evening. So therefore, there should be it should be agreed to, or the gentleman's agreement. I would say anything before 7 is egregious, and even I'd lean towards 8 for that.
I think to be courteous on the fair side of caution, 8 is the number. But if someone's cutting their grass on a day like today at 7:30, I don't know what's happening in their life. They might need to do it. So it is a long day. You could do it in the evening, but what's the difference?
Well,
I'm not going to complain about
here's
it.
the other thing is that in the morning, it sucks on Saturday morning, but let's say that you get your yard all dialed in and pristine and you're having a backyard gathering.
Sure.
and it's around the dinner hour and you're having cocktails and you're having it on the veranda and your neighbor's fired up his lawnmower at 6:30 or 7 when you're having a gathering, that's a pain in the ass too. You're going to be more mad about that than you would on the front end of the day.
Yeah, it's also, for some people, I think they think of it like this, although it might seem silly. They got to get their lawn ready for the day. So if they're going to cut it, I want to cut it in the morning so it looks nice for the day. It's like shaving. You're not going to shave after. I mean, you could, but some people like to shave before and get ready to go. So you're right, Drew. I mean, it could be good or bad either way. I think the lesson would be let's not worry about it and not complain.
One of my favorite
we do that.
One of my favorite C-Leagueisms, one of my favorite Bud quotes.
Shout out to Bud. Yeah.
Shout out to Commissioner Emeritus C-League, wherever he may be today on the North Shore. He always said, well, as my mother used to tell me, nothing is either good or bad except by comparison.
Yes, that's right? Great. Comparison is the thief of joy, as they say. Right?
It is, yeah. He's like, nothing is either good or inherently, nothing's good or bad except by comparison.
It's a fantastic way to live.
And that's a good way to look at things.
It's a great way to look at things, and it's true. And it's kind of true when we look at the Brewers. I mean, because there's many fan bases around this league that are envious of everything that we are and have been and what we are doing as a Brewers team. The process we take, the way we operate, the success we've had, and the success we're currently having. 50 wins already halfway through the season. Yet the text line in the comments, which is fine, understandably so, is filled with frustration this morning. We'll get to some of them, but it is interesting how we do it. We can become a prisoner of the moment sometimes. It was just this past weekend we lost the series, but most of the time this year we've done great. So I had an interesting discussion yesterday with a friend of mine that's a White Sox fan, because he came up yesterday. We had our Armenian picnic at our church. Okay, the great picnic in Racine on Johnson Park, and he came up and he's a big White Sox fan. So therefore, we share the mutual dislike of the Cubs. And he said, you talked about how good the White Sox are doing. I said, what's interesting this year is the Cubs will probably finish better than the White Sox in record, maybe in standing, although the AL Central's competitive or winnable, I should say. But I said the White Sox fans are definitely happier than Cubs fans right now. Now, maybe you don't take it like Sunday night, they were fine, but it's like White Sox fans are used to having nothing, and they're given something this year, a fleeting flower in this desert of despair, which is this young team that's playing well. And the Cubs are an example of disappointment so far for most Northsiders. Expectations, talent, yet not winning. So to your point, Drew, comparison. Yeah. It can be the thief of joy, or it can just determine how
the Cubs have a better record than the White Sox.
Right, they do. But the Cubs fans seem more upset than
there's
the White
no
Sox
question.
fans.
And the Cubs have had, some serious injuries. The closers, their closers, starters, like they went and got a guy, a reclamation project from the Mets who won a game on Saturday night for them. Probably loving the fact that he got to stay in Council's suite at the hotel because Council let him have the suite.
It's pretty funny, isn't it?
Because Council doesn't need a suite in Milwaukee because he stays in Whitefish Bay.
How often does that happen in pro sports once upon a time? But now that's why not?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? It's kind of funny. I mean, I know, Craig's giving it to coaches and he gives it to players when he comes home. So
it's like the whoever sells the most gets this set of knives that I got for friends. Whoever has the best batting average gets my suite when we go to Milwaukee. That's a nice little carrot he can give out.
Yeah. Liking that. 877-794-1973. So it's all by comparison. And again, Brewers tough weekend, and it's been frustrating to watch them. And I'm looking back at those games that they won in Cincinnati when they weren't scoring in that bandbox to pitch the way they did and to squeak out the wins that they did. Like, holy cow.
Actually amazing they did, and it's great because we'd be much more frustrated had they lost those games.
Because watching this offense has been awful. Now, we have a text, and it's, again, game balls and kicks to the balls will fire up very soon. But we did get one from Bill in Madison. Kick to the balls to Jake, Jakkkke Bowers. Not Rake Bowers, but Jake Bowers. For swinging at the first pitch after a walk to Mitchell. Is the take sign ever given? Did Murphy lose his taser? Okay. Bill from Madison. All right, that's one of my favorite ones. That is like the ultimate second guess. And it's when it comes to baseball, it's like, how can you do that? The guy I'll tell you why. I'll tell you how. Because you're going up there and you're at bat as independent, right? You're watching what happens and you're aware. But when a pitcher has a bad walk, or a pitcher walks two guys and the guy ambushes the first pitch, you say, what an idiot. It's actually not a bad strategy. Bowers didn't really execute. It looked like he kind of was thinking fastball and got fooled, like an off-speed pitch fooled him a little bit. But it's a little bit like it's kind of equivalent to 3-0. If you swing 3-0 and you hit a home run, no one really bitches. You swing 3-0 and you pop up, you look like an idiot, right? So it's results-based.
But not process-based, yeah.
No, but not at all, because if a guy's walking a guy and you're in a tense situation like that, you're going to get, you think, a cookie. You're going to get, he wants to start the at-bat and get ahead, and you're going to get a pitch like a strike or in the zone, right?
And that's usually the goal of every batter, every at-bat, is to find the pitch you can hit, right?
Paul Molitor made a career out of spanking the first pitch.
Especially when knowing when that pitch is going to come, you can be ready for it, yeah.
If he slaps that off the wall, he's not an idiot. That's a good way to go, way to be aggressive.
Process-based.
So it's outcome-based. But the process, though, his logic wasn't flawed. It just looks, and then it's
just frustrating to not get the result you want.
Exactly.
So when you don't get the result, people automatically go back to the process and automatically assume fault when it might not be there, because the logic, like you said, isn't flawed. If your goal is to find the best pitch and you believe you're a good hitter, which Jake Bowers has obviously
he leads the Brewers in home runs and RBI. He's been carrying the offense for much of the first half of the season.
And you're looking for that meatball to get out of the slump and to get the ball rolling. This is your chance to probably say, okay, I might get my best pitch here. And you're aggressive at the plate instead of defensive. Now, I think you have to know yourself as a hitter. I think if you're a guy like Joey Ortiz or a guy like me or a guy like who, when I was in little, okay, maybe my best course of action to help the team is to try and squeeze a walk out of this and trying to be, deferential to the count. That's understandable too. I don't think either are flawed. But when you're a guy like Jake Bowers, who's been putting the bat in the ball very well, You say, I'm going to ambush this pitch. It's the 3-0 green light. You give it to the best hitters because you believe they can hit meatballs.
So if he takes that first pitch and it's a strike,
then what?
I mean, generally speaking, when you're an 0-1 count, batters will hit 200 to 220. And if it's 1-0, batters in the at-bat end up batting like 300. So it's a swing, but every pitch swings at bats like that. There, the numbers, it's like a blackjack thing kind of in some ways. But again, if Jake Bowers hits that pitch over the wall, oh, great. He's aggressive. He pounced on that pitch. He ambushed. Awesome.
Gave us the hit we needed,
and he doesn't. So that's one that I don't get pissed at. I know that because it's kind of like a little league thing. It's like, oh, we're down in the game. Everybody's got to sit there and take a strike.
Wait out the pitches.
Got to wait out the pitches.
Which is sort of
you can run up a count on guys, and every circumstance is different. But baseball is built on that, though. Baseball is built on guys hitting home runs on pitches that are out of the zone. Like it's not, he gave up a homer on a pitch that was 8 inches outside, and the guy hit it out. Like, what are you going to do there? Like, what was the flaw in the execution by the pitcher?
Sure,
right. And it's
the old Vlad Guerrero.
It's the old, I hit a drive down the middle and my ball hit a sprinkler head and kicked into the rough. Like, okay, there was nothing wrong. But the guy sawed off my bat and I flared one into right field. That's a better result than hitting a absolute seed at somebody.
Right.
105 miles an hour that almost decapitates the shortstop and the left fielder catches it. Okay. Right. So it's just, that's baseball.
Well,
again, hashtag baseball.
Now, some might say, I will say this, like we've now kind of been in an era for the last 10, 20 years where pitchers are having to work. I mean, batters are taking more pitches than ever, right?
Yes. And pitchers are better than ever, too, by the way. So, and that's the other thing about
are we used to guys just always making sure the pitcher works, like taking those pitches?
That's the other thing I hear all the time is like when it comes to guys bunting, and they don't bunt that much anymore. And I know it's like, oh, you get a bunt down. Everybody's got to be able to get a bunt down. It ain't easy against these pitchers with the stuff they have. That's not an automatic. People think it is.
Well, no one trains for it
but it's not. Well, that's part of it, but it's also harder.
It's very hard
physically.
And the payoff isn't as good.
But that whole like take a walk, take a pitch thing. It's like, man, nowadays it's like if you get a pitch early in the at bat, pounce, man.
And baseball customs have changed, I would say. Like over the years, protecting the plate, getting a bat in the ball, choking up. Those things are more valued than say taking pitches and looking to slug. And if you watch a game in the 80s, as you know, Drew, there's a lot more action because guys are swinging a lot more pitches.
No doubt.
And now most guys are trying to take as many pitches as possible, trying to work pitches, trying to work pitchers' counts, and therefore pitchers are throwing harder and better. And therefore, guys are looking for the launch angle pitches, not just the can I slap this in play and move a runner. Yeah. It's just the way it is. Now, the Brewers have skewed that a little bit. The Brewers have been different. They've been more of a small ball type team to buck the trend, but I understand it a little bit in that Jake Bauers isn't going up there thinking, I hope I can squeeze a walk out of this. Joey Ortiz might.
Yeah.
Bauers is like, I got to get my pitch here and try and win this game.
Big league hitters want to hit, man. I think
they've been doing well doing it. They believe in themselves at that point.
Absolutely. So philosophically, I get it. It's frustrating, but I'm not going to fault them because that's a double off the wall. No one says, "Oh, what an idiot swinging at the first pitch."
It's just the frustration.
It's results based.
It's the frustration of not getting the result you want. And in these situations, when you have so many chances and it doesn't happen, it's the ultimate in just frustration.
Absolutely. Right? And like when you watch Miz, and Miz isn't going to pitch until Thursday, but when you watch Miz, if I'm a hitter, I'm not letting him get up on me 0-1. Like if the first pitch is somewhere in the area code of the strike zone and I see it well, and I'm going to try to time him up.
And I guessed
right. I don't want to go deep in a count against that guy.
Exactly. You try and guess right, and if you have a chance to, you do it.
Exactly. When we come back, we will hear Hunter Baumgart's recap of yesterday's loss. Very frustrating. You could see it. I saw some of the post-game react. Guys are frustrated and justifiably. It's been a rough slog, but when they break out of it and they start putting up crooked numbers, everything will be right with the world again. That's just the nature of the beast. It's a game balls and kicks to the balls Monday. Billy's on vacation. We're skating shorthanded. We're having some fun. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. It's a Monday in the good land. Game balls and kicks to the balls fires up in about 20 minutes, if that. 11 minutes.
Yeah, about 11.
Yeah. Game balls and kicks to the balls, 877-794-1973. But first, Brewers lose a game and a series in a border battle with the Cubs. Hunter Baumgardt has our recap. Hunter's going to join us live at 7:25-ish. But here's Hunter. Take it away, Hunter.
Thanks, guys. The Brewers fall in the series finale to the Chicago Cubs yesterday, 4-3 in 10 innings. And they lose the series, 5.5 games up on the Cubs as they begin play tonight against the Reds. But really, that bottom of the 10th inning was a microcosm of what happened all weekend against the Cubs, not being able to get runners in from on base. Jackson Chourio standing on third with nobody out in the bottom of the 10th as the tying run. They did not get him in. Brewers overall 5 for 28 with runners in scoring position in the series against the Cubs. Brewers outfielder Christian Yelich talked about it after the game, just the missed opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, you go through stretches like that during the season, right? Like, you're gonna have times where things just aren't going well for you. You're not doing a good job with runners in scoring position. You're not doing a good job with guys on third, less than 2 outs. Like, unfortunately, like, you're gonna have some rough spots like that, and you just got to get through them as a team, and we'll be all right. Just, you know, it's part of the season. It's rocky. It's never smooth. There's gonna be some hard times, and you know, we're in the middle of one of those right now. We've won some games while being bad at that, which is pretty fortunate because usually it doesn't go that way. So it's part of the year. We'll be fine. We'll come out the other side, but obviously frustrating.
So the Brewers will try to turn things around as they turn the page to another series against an NL Central opponent, one they swept last week in Cincinnati. The Reds, they come to town starting tonight, 6:40 first pitch. Robert Gasser on the mound for the Crew. Brandon Sproat will get the mound tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, it'll be Shane Drowan and then Jacob Mizorowski on Thursday. That's how the starters set up for the rest of the homestand. I'll join you guys at 7:25 to talk more about the Crew. This report brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of 894. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Hunter Baumgardt. Thank you, Christian Yelich.
Yeah, he gets it, right? I mean, he's been around a long time. He's been through a lot of these seasons, good and bad, a lot of good ones, obviously, for Yelich. And he knows there's ups and downs, and steady as they go is Christian Yelich. And he kind of laid it out right there. Like, that's not where we want to be, but the seasons are always rocky. They're never smooth sailing. And there you go. I also heard him say, Drew, that they could have played a lot better so far as he assessed the first half of the year. So that's pretty good for a team that's won 50 games through 81.
Yeah. Brewers yesterday, 2 for 12 runners in scoring position. Some of those really hurt. 5 for 28 in the losses to the Cubs over the weekend. In their last 2 series, Brewers are 6 for 51 runners in scoring position. Team-wide drought.
Definitely. You know? And all you can really say is it could be worse. Like, I hate to say it that way, but it really could be. I mean, when you're struggling that much to go 8-5 in your last 13, 5-5 in your last 10, to not get swept over the weekend, that's not what we want, but it could be a lot worse. And you have to kind of cut your losses at some point.
That's just it. It's been abysmal the last 2 series, and yet they were still 4-2.
Exactly. That's the thing.
It's been, again, and lost in the wash and the frustration yesterday. Brandon Woodruff. Another
great start.
Solid start.
Just looking awesome.
Yeah.
Which bodes very
he's
well.
Now, it's funny because I'm not saying he's Maddox, but it's like watching Maddox because his 92 looks like 100 when he's at the top of the zone, and he doesn't miss by much when he misses pitches. He doesn't walk a lot of guys, and he's around the zone all the time. Woodruff's been terrific. Brewers starters have been terrific. So hitting is another thing. They got to get in sync. So do we. Billy Schmidt is off. We are off and running. Shooting shirts are off. It's not going to take a long time to get hot today. So let's have some fun. You are in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. Good teams don't usually give away games. The Brewers are a very good team. That's what they did on Sunday against the hated Chicago Cubs. Reliever Joel Kuhnel had a complete meltdown on the mound in the top of the 10th inning, and the Brewers' rally in the bottom of the frame ended when Gary Sanchez, maybe the slowest runner in baseball, hit a tailor-made 5-4-3 double play. The loss erased another stellar outing by Brandon Woodruff.
This is a good team. It's a good balance. A lot of the positional guys now that were young a couple years ago are now getting older and understands themselves really well. The pitching staff, we've got some big-time arms. I mean, you've seen it here early on. We played some good baseball. It's just we got to keep steady, keep being positive, and stay consistent. And I think we'll be okay at the end of the year.
The Brewers still have a 5.5-game lead in the Central. Their homestand continues tonight, game one of a 4-gamer against Cincinnati. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake up!
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we go forward down to. Let's go out and kick some tail. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Dominating a Monday in the good land. We're sizzling like the outside temperatures are going to be today. An impact day, according to the meteorologist. Always an impact day in the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app. Streaming live, Facebook, X, and YouTube. Drew Olson and Armen Sarian with you today. Billy Schmidt on vacation this week.
Well, he took a good time for a little summer vacay, didn't he?
Yeah, I
gonna
hope
be
I hope he sets up a little pool for the boys in the backyard.
I just pulled out the splash pad, Drew. Hooked that bad boy up to the hose
The
and
splash pad, is that the slip and slide?
Basically similar. I mean, it's like a smaller one for toddler, but slip and slide, splash pad, all that stuff. Going to get a workout this week as the hose water comes out nice and cool, as you remember in your ideal summer days. And this is the time of the year for it. We're going to get a hot, sweaty, nasty week. Hopefully not severe weather. I saw some of that popping up at the end of the week, so we might have to keep an eye on that. I mean, it is what it is, but
it is what it is.
We want to keep it clear for another glorious Summerfest weekend.
That's true.
Upon us.
And the 4th.
And the 4th, obviously.
The 4th, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a short week for us. So Billy had one of those. This is one of those you get a week off and you only have to burn 4 vacation days.
Smart move.
Veteran move. That's something that Scott Dolphin would do. And Dolphin is in today, and he'll be with us.
Yes.
He took off. I took off Friday as well. By the way, did you guys, how did it go? I wasn't here.
Went great. Billy and
Excellent.
I, a lot of the obvious brewer talk, a lot of anticipation for what I was going to do.
For Miz.
For Miz and for my traverses to American Family Field, as we talked about in the first hour.
Yes.
5 o'clock club, enjoyed that. A lot of that was enjoyable. And what was the other big thing? I'm blanking. The other thing that popped up big. Yeah, it was a World Cup thing. It was the funny comments after U.S. lost to Turkey in that sort of quasi exhibition match, because Turkey beat the U.S. in the last minute goal, but both teams already had their fate decided.
Wow.
Obviously, was U.S. moving on to play the knockout stage on Wednesday, but it was Mauricio Pochettino, when in the post game, was frustrated with everyone asking him about this loss, and he's saying, "Why aren't you? These questions are weird. Why aren't you congratulating me for winning the group? Like, we won the group. What's going on here? I'm sorry to tell you, we won." That was a lot of fun. We enjoyed that because, as you know, Drew, and we talked about it here in the first hour, as it pertains to the Brewers. No matter what you've done, it's what have you done for me lately, and we are prisoners of the moment. And the Brewers have had a great first half, but couple disappointing losses as the natives restless a little bit. So.
They definitely are. It's overreaction Monday for many Brewers fans.
It definitely is.
It's magnified because, again, it's the Cubs. Everything's magnified because it was the Cubs.
It's the Cubs, indeed.
Had that been the Pirates, it'd be easier to take.
Yeah, I think that's an absolute truth. I mean, when they lost that, what was the series the Brewers lost? Well, the A's, obviously. It was like, all right, a lot of weird stuff happened to that weird team out there with no home and no real stadium. Okay, whatever. It's no fun, but it is what it is. We understand why it happened. You knew who to blame, and the blame was on the conditions.
Yeah.
But now
Brewers just didn't come through yesterday.
Yeah, they looked in the mirror.
Or all weekend. Yeah. All right. So 877-794-1973. Let's fire up the game balls and kicks to the balls machine. We talk in the open, you hear St. Vince Lombardi talking about, I want a seal here and a seal here. We're breaking the seal on game balls and kicks to the balls. Got a couple early ones in the 5 o'clock hour. Shout out to the 5 o'clock club members. Welcome all the 6 o'clock club members.
Hot and ready. And there's a couple that we have to, I'm going to add to the list. I have the master list printed out somewhere in there, but
all right.
I'm going to add a couple. Yeah.
Get us 877-794-1973. Today on the program, if you're new here, welcome. And game balls and kicks the balls, it's the post-game ceremony after a victory, and everybody's jubilant. And when you're holding a game ball aloft and you get to award it to somebody who's wearing sporting underwear or a towel or whatever your fantasy can concoct, but you get to award a game ball to someone for a job well done. And today on the program, it's this.
And another pitching change from Craig Counsell that goes down the toilet.
From Friday night.
Jeff Levering editorializing. How about that?
And I love that because obviously Friday night it went well. So both will feature the Brewers.
And it's funny too because the changes that you don't make yesterday, when the Brewers took the 1-0 lead on El Gary's homer, Counsell was one step up about to hook the pitcher, and he's like, "All right, let's get one more batter, home run," and you could just see the disgust, and he's like, he was so pissed at himself.
But then, ironically, it was Bryce Wilson that stabilized the ship, the ex-Brewer. So you just never know how this game will go.
That was bizarre. But he was mad at himself for the Gary Sanchez thing. So that is a game ball today. Conversely, a kick to the ball. Someone needs a performance improvement plan. They need to do better. You want them. You're urging them to do better. Give them a kick to the balls today, and it sounds like this.
Unraveling here for the Brewers.
That was the Cubs broadcast, obviously, yesterday when the Brewers had lost their skis in the 10th.
Yep. So. Unraveling. Yeah. And by the way, Gary Sanchez ended the game with a 5-4-3 double play, slowest guy in baseball. And the Brewers kind of got hung up because they had pinch hit Contreras earlier. Yep. They were out of position players. They didn't have another catcher. There was nothing they could do.
And to your point, Drew, they really could have and probably should have come all the way back.
They should have won the game.
Yeah.
The Cubs were lucky to win the game the way they did. The Cubs had a guy puke on himself and not nail down a save.
And we'll be talking about an inspiring series win if that happened, not the disappointment.
Yep. And Kunal melted down a little bit, but
that's a kick
again. That should have been. You shouldn't have been in that spot. They should have been comfortably ahead, taking advantages of the opportunities they had earlier in the game. They could have been put your feet up and rest the top of the bullpen. Game balls and kicks. Game ball right away. Brandon Woodruff.
And another pitching change from Craig Counsell that goes down the toilet.
That's the wrong one. That's the game ball. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you got it right.
Sorry, I got mixed up.
You got it right.
Sorry
but Woody coming back with another solid start. He is pitching now. He's not just blowing guys away. He always had good control. He's always had, that's been his hallmark, is that he didn't walk a lot of guys, right? But now that his velocity is down, he spent a lot of time watching ball over the last couple of years while he was recovering from his various injuries. He knows what he's doing out there, man. It's a master class watching him.
It's been an absolute, you didn't know what to expect, right? With him coming back and how well the pitching staff's done and just adding him to the mix. That's the bright spot for sure yesterday.
He's a delightful guy too. I mean, anybody who's spent any time around him, I've only met him a couple of times, but I did this thing at Potawatomi, had him for in the off season one year, and he did a signing, and they asked me to come in, and I interviewed him. I think I did it one day, and then Doug Russell did it the other day, and because I had a TV show or something, but I went in and I interviewed him for like 45 minutes on stage, and we took questions and stuff, and it was a couple hundred people, and he couldn't have been nicer. He was just the most chill, gracious, chill guy. That's just the way he is. And he is like, one of the more popular guys in that clubhouse with clubhouse guys and reporters, and everybody loves Woody. He's just a great dude.
And he's always presented that to fans throughout his career here, that kind of, team first guy, humble leader, cares about his craft, cares about his team. When he was hurt and couldn't play in the playoffs, the tears that were flowing hurt us. So always had that quiet sort of stately leadership. I think that Yelich has that is something to be proud of if you're a Brewer fan. And he's always had that. So, besides the great performances, he's always given you that. A guy that earned the prove it contract that he got, no doubt. That he's paying off the Brewers on now. I want to give a game in the ball as well to
a game in the balls.
Game in the balls. Game ball. Sorry.
And another pitching change from Craig Counsell that goes down the toilet.
Maybe that should be kicking the balls the way I said it. Game ball to Jackson Chourio, who has still stayed pretty hot here. 4 of 13 over the weekend for the Cubs. Not terrible. Did add the homer. Jackson Chourio has really had a really nice stretch here, and it's kind of continued through the weekend. As much as the rest of the lineup struggled, Jackson did okay. Had the homer on Saturday night, and his average now is 297, Drew. On base 347, which is pretty good considering lack of walks had been an issue for him at one point in his career. and he's slugging .530, so OPS 877. Jackson Chourio, once again, I'd say fulfilling the potential that people have for him. And the question now is how high his ceiling can be. And it's not easy for young players to live up to the hype they're given. And Jackson generally has done it at a steady pace for 3 years now. We talked about Cooper Pratt and kind of the struggles he's had after his first week was good at the plate. Now he's kind of hitting that wall a little bit, which is understandable. Young guys do it.
Yeah, they're finding out that they can get him out with high fastballs.
And they're really good ones. I think of Ryan Braun when he first came up. It was really hard to ever put him in a slump, and Jackson's kind of the same way. Pretty impressive.
Yeah. Got a couple of people on the talking text line. We can give a kick to the balls to Armen's ex-hackers.
Unraveling here for the Brewers.
Yeah, Dan.
Week 3? Is this week 3 of your Twitter being hacked?
Week 3, it might be DOA at this point. Dan and West Bend, Dustin, and Brookfield asking on the text line, so I'll talk about it. So, yeah, at this point, Drew, I don't think there's any coming back because the hackers initially in my Twitter were trying to cosplay as me for a while. They were trying to act like they were Armen, retweeting some various Bucks and Brewers stuff, and then doing the crypto stuff. Now it's been totally taken over to the point where the handle's been changed, the likeness has been changed, and it's all this random Elon stuff. So the entire account has now been taken over and not even have, there's no semblance of it anymore. So I'm going to have to just make a new account at this point. There was a point where I had hope I would hopefully get it back and sort of regroup and keep the old account going. But now you can't even search my name. If you search at Armen Sorry and it doesn't exist anymore, the entire account's been changed, basically, is my point. It's now Rocket Man.
Nice job by X, by the way.
Nice job.
That your recovery email should be, sacrosanct.
It should be. And it got changed by just some stupid throwaway, obvious burner email system. Obviously not me. And nice job for nothing, making, the slum of the internet now.
And you can't get a human being on the phone.
They have no phone support.
No.
No, I mean,
they fired everybody.
Elon's turned that site into the slum of the internet.
It
absolutely
sucks.
No support at all.
Actually, your life is probably better if you don't doom scroll. I try to cure myself of that. I don't put a lot into social media anymore in terms of I just repost show stuff and tell people to listen to the show and watch the stream.
Right.
But beyond that, I'm not getting into it. I know people that do. My buddy Jeff Pearlman from formerly of Sports Illustrated, preeminent sports author, he likes going at people and he likes the give and take. I just don't have the stomach for it.
But even he's on Blue Sky now, right?
He's on that, but it's I just don't want to. And Instagram, he's a TikTok guy. He has good interactions with people on TikTok. That's kind of what X used to be a little bit.
Yes. It used to be a great resource, and it still is for sports. Billy and I talked about it on Friday. The tough part is it's a great kind of resource for what we do, and it's fun to talk to our listeners and our fans, local fans. It's fun to have that interplay and to talk local sports. So when I can do that with our listener, a lot of our listeners can get us that way, which is the best part of it, right? We can be accessible and we can be interactive, but the rest of the crap on the site is obviously terrible. And the tough part is, unfortunately, you have to take the good and the bad, and I've gotten all the bad right now.
I never got the blue check that some of our friends in the media did. When they were giving it out for people who actually were verified, now you can get a blue check. And that was the beginning of the end.
Yeah, you could pay for
it. Because then you could pay for it, and there was no way to tell what was real and what isn't. You had, the fake misspelled Ian Rappaport's with a blue check.
Sure.
Spam it. It's set up. It was awful.
The tough thing is I still think it's important for the sports talk space in some ways.
Yes and no, because it's not real life. People who live on Twitter, first of all, it's not the majority of people. No. And if you think, I've worked with guys who one or two tweets, they think everybody's saying this. No, one or two idiots are saying this.
No,
it's not the consensus.
At the beginning, I'll say this. It's been 3 weeks, right? And it's been like a full detox because I use it a lot for what we do. I talk a lot. I like to talk to Bucks fans.
Yeah, you enjoyed feeding the trolls. Probably good that you didn't have to hear from Cubs fans this weekend.
Well, I'll say this. I told Billy the worst thing about it is these Bears fans are going to come at me and think I'm ducking the smoke, and really they're not going to find my account anymore, that they bookmark all these things. It's kind of funny, which I hate letting them think that they got satisfaction by me ducking the smoke, which is not true. But the reality is it's hard to mourn what it used to be, right? While trying to still make it operative. And I was able to, I think, while avoiding the worst parts. But it is what it is. It still is a good way for us to communicate with listeners and with each other to find certain content that we need to use for the show or want to use for the show. And there was some entertainment factor to it, but that was waning. So unfortunately, I have at this point no recourse to try and get it back, short of finding someone that literally works at Twitter to just bypass everything for me.
You got no
chance. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I'm just thankful I did.
I say you fire up real Armen Sarian.
Real Armen Sarian or Armen Sarian, I think 1984. I'm going to come up with I have a burner, or not a burner. I have an account, but whether or not I can change it to Real Armen Sarian would be good.
Yeah,
some people do the on-air Armen thing, but what if I'm not one day? So I don't want to do that.
That's true too.
I don't know. So I think unfortunately, I think I have to have a funeral. I have to say it's DOA at this point. I
agree.
I never wanted to give up. I had hopes of it coming back, and maybe one day a miracle can happen. But to those of you who are still following what was my Twitter, and now it's totally different. It's called something with Rocket Man, something. It's all Eli's. Just unfollow, block, troll them if you want at this point. But it is what it is. It's sad.
I'll unblock if you get it back, but I'm not holding out.
Oh no,
it's over.
No, don't. And don't click any links from it.
Definitely not. Aaron Sims, our buddy from the Admirals, just got
same thing happened to Aaron Sims,
and he's sending us direct messages saying, "Can you vote for me in this poll?"
So that's the phishing. That's how they get you.
Someone did that to me recently too. One of our buddies involved in the Just a Bit Outside documentary.
Right, and maybe that's how I was got a month ago. I really
probably
remember.
Was.
I'm a trusting person.
Yeah.
I'm gullible. I'm naive. Usually it pays off. Sometimes it doesn't. And in this
Derek
case,
from Whitewater on the talking text line. You ain't missing anything. Very true. Statman Steve.
It's just hard. Yeah.
Statman Steve. Social media now is a thirst trap picks from people. Let's be real.
Yeah, but that's
not
so
only
bad.
that, especially Instagram. They're not even real people.
They're all AI. They're all
There's
fake.
It's like hundreds of thousands of guys following thirst trap accounts of AI, bots.
Yeah, that's some 10-year-old in Russia.
And go look at these pictures. Like, let's say a hot girl's in her gym, in her gym fit, working out, and then you look in the background and the exit sign is blurry and there's clocks, or it's you can just tell it's AI, or they got 6 fingers or 6 toes or something like.
As they say, go touch grass, go live real life. Real life is not the internet.
It is.
That. So
let's go.
This has been a good reminder and a good lesson. Now I feel like I had a decent understanding of that and a decent balance on both already, but this has been a good reminder of that. That being said, I still want something to be able to consume our sports content and what we use to communicate with our listeners. So I'll have something out there, but don't put too much into it. And yes, it's all fake. I'll say this too. We don't do enough as a community to vilify hackers. I think there's still kind of oh, that's cute. There's a dude, some whiz kid, Mark Zuckerberg in his basement. No, these are just the thieves of the internet, the dregs of society. They offer nothing. They're trash collectors of the internet. They go and look for a phishing link or whatever just to get your information. These are basically akin to the worst people on the street, but they're just on the internet. So as a society and a people, we have to rise up and attack the hacking community, hold them accountable more, and bring them to justice, prosecute them tougher. We have to do these things because they are the worst. I hope all hackers have incontinence the rest of their life. That's my goal for them. That's my dream for them.
All right.
For the heartache they put into good, honest,
hope they get brain
people.
syphilis.
It's just we don't do enough to vilify them. Even the IT, I have a buddy that works in professional IT. He's like, oh yeah, this is what they do. They're so good. I'm like, they're not an enviable idyllic figure. They're nothing to look up to. These guys are trash bags. So so if you're in that community more in the IT, go fight against them. Good should overcome evil in this sense, and hackers are evil. We have to remind people of that.
There are people who who've been thrown in jail for maybe stealing a pack of gum. What hackers do is worse. You're right.
It's totally worse. And for some reason, because they're faceless and nameless.
Yeah.
And we think it's some sort of small time brilliance, misunderstood, created find a way to find their genius on the internet and do brilliant. It's not anymore. And it's let's stop with that.
Let's stop with that. Well, you did make me, I signed up for some, and again, X being the evil site that it now is, you have to pay for the blue check to get like the 2-step verification.
Well, that's part of the problem.
But you can get, I can get like the biometric stuff or like the pass key.
Yeah, pass key.
Pass key and authenticator. So I did that in the wake of your hacking. But there's part of me that wishes I would get hacked and I could just leave altogether and say, well, I got hacked and I'm done.
The one thing is, it's a violating feeling to have your identity kind of stuff. In this case, it wasn't as serious. It's not my true identity, and it's not like my bank account information or all that stuff, but it's a violating feeling. So protect yourself.
Yeah.
Get that 2-factor because you might think, it's not necessary.
It is necessary.
I mean, just do it because you're going to feel better. And I'm pretty sure that's the way my hackers that initially got me to not be able to get back is by establishing 2-factor when I didn't.
Yeah.
And so it's a lesson learned. Let me be your lesson.
Let Armen be the test case. Absolutely. All right. 877-794-1973. First show of the week. Billy Schmidt on vacation. Well-deserved. Again, I hope he's getting rested and ready because having 2 kids like he does with a lot of energy, boy. Whoo.
Oh, yeah.
Oof. But Billy's off. Toby's going to be in on Wednesday. Hunter Baumgardt joins us at 7:25. But when we come back, halftime, Scott Dolphin's going to join us. I got plenty for Dolph. It's a Game Balls and Kicks to the Balls Monday. This portion of the program been brought to you by our friends at Game Day Men's Health. I'm going to be visiting them after the show, as I do on Mondays. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Learn about all the services they offer. Find a clinic near you. Sign up for the free, no obligation consult and get started. See if they can change your life as they've done for thousands. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Dolph is next. You're in the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Continuing the Monday edition of the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app. Streaming live, Facebook, X, and YouTube. Drew and Armen, Billy's off today. We welcome our halftime correspondent, Scott Dolphin, from the country station on the Hall, FM 106.1. Hello, Dolph.
Hey, Drew. So we're halfway through the show and halfway through the baseball season, right? 81 up, 81 down.
How about that? Yeah, the Brewers hit the halfway point yesterday. Disappointing loss to the Cubs. Disappointing series. It's overreaction Monday. I know people are pissed about it, but
hey, it certainly wasn't. Well, it was the bullpen kind of faltered, but the starting pitching was great. You just couldn't knock guys in. Two of 12 with runners in scoring position.
That was really what did him in. Obviously.
And it was just gaudy. It was a ridiculous stat for the whole weekend.
You're down a run with the bases loaded and nobody out or one out, and you can't get a run in.
Yep.
The thing is, too, and you talked about the leadoff triple that Vaughn had. It's like people will focus on Kunal with the consecutive balls and the walks.
And Ashby spiking a curveball and threw about a 50-foot curveball.
Who's, Ashby's been great. So it's like, do you focus on the runs you give up in those small moments when you're trying to cling to a one-run lead? Isn't it? The game's lost when you don't get the tack on runs early on. That's where the game's lost. You don't put your pitching staff in that position, you might win the game.
So true.
And
it's
magnified because it's the Cubs and you've got a large, big contingent in Chicago.
Like I just pointed out, people aren't paying attention, but the Braves were the hottest team in ball, or one of them, and they just had an abysmal trip to the West Coast. They lost to the Giants. They were 1-5 on a 6-game trip to the West Coast. The Yankees just got swept by the last place Red Sox, almost no hit.
It's the dog days of summer in the baseball season, and you're going to have this. The Cubs are an interesting team, too, that you have to keep a close eye on because now they're 5.5 back.
Look at their lineup. I looked at their lineup and there's no way they should lose a series to the Brewers. Look at the guys they got.
Yeah, true.
They're a better, on paper, they're a better offense. They're a better team, but their pitching's decimated, and the Brewers are having a historic run of starting pitching right now. It's I think it's like one of the best 6-game stretches in baseball history by starters, and middling results.
Go get right against the Reds.
There you go. That's all it takes. And this is a grinding part. And you're right. The Brewers they got that double header looming. What is it? Like 15 games in 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then the All-Star break. Oh, by the way, I don't know if this is breaking news or not, but the fact that Miz is pitching this Thursday, and I'm doing the math and connecting the dots, he's going to have, it's 2-3 more turns before, he's going to probably pitch the Sunday. He's going to be lined up to pitch the Sunday before the All-Star break.
So he won't start.
So he won't. Maybe he'll get an inning of bullpen work, or maybe he'll just go and wave to people and do the foul line introductions. But I don't know that he's going to be able to throw, because if he's going to throw 100 pitches on Sunday in a meaningful game, it might temper his availability for the Midsummer Classic. We'll see.
I wouldn't even think he would pitch at all, because that's two days later, right?
Yeah.
But don't they want to showcase him?
It'd be a bullpen day for him, but we'll see. Yeah.
Can MLB make him play?
No,
they can't.
They can't anymore.
Someone's
in
got.
fact, they save them from themselves. Teams don't want guys pitching like that.
So they'll go through every reliever.
Yeah. So the way it's lining up, it looks like Miz might pitch the Sunday before, but we'll see.
If you're in the Milwaukee area today, you get a chance to say hello to Bill and Churio. Contreras and Jackson Churio are going to show up at I think it's Blessed Sacrament Catholic Church on Milwaukee South Side.
Wow.
They're launching this huge Venezuela relief effort.
It's amazing.
You're talking the death toll down there's like 1,400. People are literally living in the streets. So they're collecting tents, sleeping bags, bottled water, just basically anything you need, essentials to live. And they're going to be out there at 12:30 this afternoon in Milwaukee, like at 41st in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I saw they had the VZ on the hats. Contreras, obviously the Brewers have a heavy contingent.
That was
with Jackson as well.
Quite the highlight. Contreras' home run Friday was quite the highlight. I mean, it almost sucked that it was it happened on Friday night, because it kind of gets lost in the wash of the weekend. If that had been a Monday or a Tuesday, it might have been more of a national story.
Very emotional. And you think about across Major League Baseball. What do you think? How many guys are from Venezuela on every team?
Right.
Plenty.
So they all have a connection, and everyone knows someone in baseball that has a connection.
I would love to know the backstory there. Why Venezuela as a South American country is just baseball crazy, but Brazil,
Chile, Argentina,
Panama. Yeah,
Carlos Lee was Panamanian, right?
Yeah. Rivera from the Yankees was from Panama. But for the most part, it's Central America or the Caribbean islands, and not so much South America. But Venezuela, man.
It's funny because the Cubs starting catcher yesterday, their backup was this Amaya kid, Ruben Amaya or something. And on the scoreboard, they flashed that his father is the mayor of the city in Panama where he's from. So it's that's kind of cool.
Wow.
El Mayor.
Yeah, and it's just it's been one of those countries that's gotten, even some of the Caribbean countries have a lot of ball players, and or have a history, like Curacao, for instance, has a history of some.
Yeah.
And some like you know, Martinique and St. Lucia, and you'd never hear of a player from one of those countries.
Yeah.
I mean, they're smaller populated, but
Dennis Martinez from Nicaragua. Right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Curacao was Andrew Jones, I think.
Andrew Jones.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you never know, but it's
All
quite
right.
interesting. Yeah.
So, Dolph, we have to say, and it goes without saying, but we have to say it every once in a while. We have really cool jobs, and Armen and I were joking before, like what we do is hardly work compared to what a lot of other people
That's
do.
true.
Like people who are working in emergency rooms, or guys that are hanging drywall, or guys that are
roofing today,
paving crews today, roofing crews today. They actually work. What we do, borderline work. But sometimes, even though we have cool jobs, work costs us, because like there are many days when I was covering Brewers games when I missed family reunions, weddings, graduations, this, that, other. Our boy Hunter Baumgardt, who joins us in a little bit, he missed his favorite artist, Russell Dickerson,
Poor guy.
over the weekend because he was covering the Brewers and Cubs Saturday night. And not only did he miss him Saturday night, he missed him yesterday at the ballpark.
Oh, no.
Because Russell Dickerson threw out the first pitch, and he was hanging out in the clubhouses before the game. Now, Brewers Clubhouse on Sunday mornings is a sleepy place. You just played a Saturday night. There's not that much news to be gathered. And Murph, usually that's the day they give him off from the pregame media session. Murph didn't even do the postgame yesterday because of his back surgery.
Sure.
So it was Jason Lane. But I saw Hunter in the press box yesterday as the game was getting going, and Russell Dickerson threw out the first pitch with his kid out at the mound.
Yeah.
And then they had after the sixth inning, they went to him in a luxury box, and he had a mic, and he was kind of singing / lip syncing to one of his hits. So he was like performing at the ballpark. So Hunter missed a chance to meet him.
Oh,
and he did videotape the first pitch and sent it to Shanna so you guys could put it on the FM 106 socials. But Hunter missed him twice.
Oh, that sucks.
Now, I strolled by the Russell Dickerson show. I saw a couple of songs, and it's clear to me that he is knocking on the door of being an amphitheater act, because the crowd at BMO was
It was ridiculous. It rivaled what Riley Green had there last year for a country show. Yeah, we walked by right before the show started. And I thought, man, we can't even get close to this thing.
Part of that, I got to say, is because Post Malone played a really short set.
And that helps.
Post Malone was done before 10 o'clock. I guess he played like just an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 10 minutes or something. He was done early.
Only had one opening act. It was, a lot of times on the amphitheater, you'll see sometimes 3, maybe even 4 acts.
Yeah.
But there was just one opening act for Post.
Post didn't do that many songs. And
didn't.
Piet Levy, the Journal Sentinel critic, kind of panned him for that, because people paid a lot of money to get to that show. And it was, not even an hour and a half.
They're getting $350 for the red seats at that show.
Yeah. Just to get the lawn was $150.
Isn't there a requirement on time? Like,
I don't think there is.
Maybe not there.
I guess if you're going over an hour 10, hour 20, I guess that's probably manageable.
But the side stages have a countdown clock.
But,
right?
I think Summerfest doesn't mind that as much, because then people will drizzle out and see the other acts.
Yeah, and that's why they stutter.
And they'll sell more beer.
You got headliners starting at 9, 9:30, 10, 10:15, 10:30. But a little frustrated watching the Marcus King band the other night, because they shut them down. I mean, he was going, and he actually made the comment, I'm not sure if we're going to get 3 more songs, 4 more songs, so we're going to give you this one now.
Really?
And they basically said, oh, okay, we're done. Yeah. And that happened throughout Thursday, Friday, Saturday, where bands you're thinking, oh, they're cooking now. Oh, nope, they're done.
Yeah.
See ya.
It's very weird. And the staggering of stages, sometimes you walk by and a stage is dead for like an hour and a half, and you're like, what are they doing? Like,
exactly.
Gotta have it used to be like flow more, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. Post Malone, by the way, was a frequent visitor to several different businesses on Saturday in the Milwaukee area.
Really?
He got a haircut.
That was like, that's how small town we are. It's like Post Malone got a haircut at a South Side bar, or it was actually downtown.
Packing house, the same old
thing.
And
then he went to Calderone Club and had some Italian food. He probably spent more time eating dinner than he did on stage.
Oh, he stopped at a gaming store near UWM that specializes in table games.
It's always cool when those type of guys are frequenting and patronizing our local.
I do like it when they get out, and they should. And I like that, obviously they want to go to local spots.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. They want to not chains.
You're not in and out always as a headlining act. Like sometimes I assume those guys are in and they're out, but they stay in town for a couple days.
It's all about routing, with Russell Dickerson. Now, of course, Russell Dickerson's wife is from Cedarburg.
So that's a different deal, yeah.
They've got a connection to the Milwaukee area, so maybe they planned it that he didn't have a Sunday show. But a lot of times, like, was it the Jackson Brown song, The Loadout? You'll be scheduled to play 1,000 miles away from here the very next day. So they're out and they're gone.
Getting on the bus.
Yeah.
I'm always curious about the semantics of how all that stuff works. Like in the details of like, if a band just keeps playing past their time, are they paying an overtime fee or interesting?
It happened.
Part of me would think, okay, the venue would love to have them play for free.
Kip Moore got fined,
but they fine them.
And I don't know what it was, probably 10, 15 grand if you go past. He went past midnight, which is a big no-no at Summerfest.
Sometimes it's worth the money to them. Right?
Sure.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're just partying. We're going to keep it going.
Yeah, it happens, though. I mean, I guess they could just – I remember being at a show and there was a thunderstorm rolling in and Steve Earle was on stage and did not want to stop and said, we're not stopping, even though you could see the lightning coming from the west. They just
kept playing.
They killed the power on him.
That's crazy.
After a song, he was done.
Steve Earle is one of my favorite artists, by the way.
He's awesome.
Fantastic.
This is all wild.
All right, so
these stories would be great for podcasts.
I got to know, Dolph, I mean, an emotional weekend for country music because Alan Jackson said his final farewell, took his final bow at Nissan Stadium in Nashville.
Yeah, I'm feeling really old with that.
A legend of legends, right? Up
I was going to say.
Yeah. I remember playing his first single in 1990, something like that. Back in the day, Time Sure Does Fly. But he's had so many health issues. His last arena show was at Fiserv Forum last year.
I didn't realize that. I think a lot of people also, as country music has changed, I'll see him as the throwback to the real old, Chattahoochee, that old time country.
He's always been very traditional.
Yeah,
even though he broke in a time when country was definitely had a lot of pop to it with Garth Brooks and Shania.
So it was changing, but he was still a throwback.
He's got that rare mobility dizziness disease or whatever. He's got he's got some kind of I don't know what it is. It's something I've never heard of.
I mean, there's guys his age or older that are still, George Strait, they don't play as much anymore.
No.
But there's guys out there touring a lot more than Alan is. But yeah, he just isn't physically able to do it anymore. What a lineup they had, though, in Nashville over the weekend. Just about everybody who is anybody.
Yeah. I mean, I consider him in that class with George Strait, right?
Yep.
I mean, kind of that.
Yeah.
That school.
In fact, yeah. I mean, Strait's been doing it a lot longer, but Alan Jackson, I don't know, probably 30, 40 number one songs. And,
I was going to say, just an absolute Hall of Famer.
Yeah, big time. And big pals of George Strait. They've done a lot of stuff together. In fact, remember the first ever concert at Miller Park was George Strait with Alan Jackson in 2001.
How about that?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It sounds like it's a disease called Charcot-Marie tooth disease. And it's a group of inherited conditions that cause nerve damage.
Yeah.
That's sad.
I thought it's kind of like MS. It's like a balance and mobility thing. Like you keep your faculties, but you can't get around and you obviously can't perform and play guitar and do all
that. That sounds awful.
Yeah.
But, and you could see him, he's physically declined a lot, just getting on and off stage. And
balancing is his tough part.
Yeah. That's rough, he was leaning on a big roadie and stuff to get off the stage.
Right.
That was rough. But yeah, that Russell Dickerson packed BMO. But again, it comes with an asterisk because the amphitheater act let out and like that. So there was even more. And it's right. That's adjacent to the amphitheater.
It is. It helps. Although I can tell you, we saw, we were in the Lasso Lounge. And I don't remember the lady's name. She's a chick from Indiana, but it was really good. And then we were walking past that stage going north towards Little Feet. Oh my God, did they bring it the other night? And
it was a good night of music of bands that people might not know. Like Little Feet's a terrific band. Pepper is a great reggae band that they were crushing it.
I'm trying to remember who else. There's so many great acts that you see at 8 o'clock and 6 o'clock at Summerfest. That's what makes that Summerfest so special. Little Feet, I was surprised, and I can't think of the guy's name, but their lead singer grew up in Milwaukee. I mean, their original lead singer, Lowell George, has been gone a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But this dude said, yeah, it's good to be back in Brewtown, and he's a graduate of High School of the Arts. And now he's lead singer of Little Feet, which is based in L.A.
How about that? That's cool. Pretty cool.
Isn't that? Yeah. Who says you can't come home?
Absolutely.
Good point.
It was just a cool Saturday night, man. It was a lot of good music, a lot of stuff.
And it's going to be significantly warmer this week, Drew.
Oh, big time. As we fire up the last weekend, Thursday, Friday. And it's rare. Summerfest to be open on the 4th.
Yeah.
And it's rare for them.
And sometimes that affects their crowds, although, there's so much to do in the Milwaukee area. I haven't looked at the lineup yet. I usually wait till day of to see who I'm going to go see.
You'll be making it happen. I know you're going to go see Candlebox on Thursday.
So that day's interesting because they got all the 90s bands playing there, right? Buck Cherry's
All Time Low, Gin Blossoms for Armen on Thursday night.
Spin Doctors.
When I was a kid leaving the parking garage of the Bradley Center after a Bucks game, there was also a Candlebox show that was getting out as well.
All right.
And all the Candlebox fans were going crazy and rattling their cars, and I remember getting nervous.
I mean,
I was like, wow, these fans were excited about the Bucks losing again.
90s Day, Living Color, Spin Doctor, Sister Hazel, Gin Blossoms.
Load them up.
Armen's
me.
going to be
Wow.
very excited.
You know you're old. When it was like 4:30 show that we saw of Vertical Horizon, I was like, Laura, I must be getting old. I'm 40 now when all my favorite bands are playing at 4:30.
You got to like those 4:30 shows, though, don't you?
I'm like, how close are they to the playground so when I can jump around and I can listen?
What
it
a
worked
classic.
out perfect, actually.
Yeah, they did that with you and mine, Armen.
All right. Dolph, stay cool today and this week.
Yeah, you guys too. We'll see you tomorrow.
Put a cabbage leaf under the hat. The old
There you go.
cool Papa Bell trick. We'll be right back. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew and Armen bring it to you. The Huddle Billy's off this week. Monday edition, game balls and kicks. Still taking them. 877-794-1973 to the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Time for a little Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating, Cooling. Check them out. You're going to need some HVAC, heating, and cooling. Cooling's going to be important this week. Extreme heat warnings in the offing for much of this week. So
Indeed.
Heat indices very high. Who's hot, who's not? Who's hot? I can say the Brewers starting pitching. Hot.
Definitely.
Carrying the team right now. A great run through the through the rotation. They've been terrific. Woodruff, Miz. Miz was not as dominant as he often is, but still pretty good when you were there on Friday night, right?
He was awesome. I mean, he threw 105, I think, to start off, or he had one of his best speed pitches. No, he was, as always, as advertised, exciting and efficient and very good.
Who's hot? The Red Sox rotation. 11 consecutive quality starts. Their longest since 1988, the longest streak. That's pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive. They just had the series over the weekend with the Yankees.
Yep, and Sonny Gray, who's going to be up there with Scooble in the trade, and rumors, pitched really well in his showcase. Who's not hot? The American League. We're halfway through the season. Only 4 teams in the American League have winning records.
Yeah, that's not good. They've been struggling since the season started. Interleague play put them behind, and not a lot of teams, as I highlighted last week, with good positive run differentials.
Yep.
So if you are a team that's middling in the American League or a fan of the team, one of the teams, you have a good shot all summer to be in the playoff mix.
That's right.
Because those wild card spots will be out there.
Who's hot? Andrew Fisher, Brewers prospect, 4th Double-A homer yesterday. He's been up in Double-A for about 2.5 weeks. 4 homers already.
Nice.
That's kind of fun to watch.
Drew, Canada soccer is hot. The knockout stage started yesterday. They had a huge win over South Africa, 1-0 to basically
biggest win in the history of Canadian soccer.
Exactly.
And that's not hyperbole, it's fact.
Easily. They are right now, what their coach said, they're the heroes of Canada soccer, now in the round of 16. So the knockout stage is a round of 32 now, for those that don't know. So it started yesterday. We have Brazil, Japan today, Germany, Paraguay, Netherlands, Morocco. So
Netherlands, Morocco is going to be really good.
Fantastic game coming up.
So's Japan. Like they're technically playing very well.
They are, and obviously Brazil is a juggernaut. So the question, I saw the line, they can make history if they can find a way to upset Brazil in the knockout stage. It would be a historic moment for their sporting nation. We'll see what happens there. Brazil is going to be the favorite, obviously, but
Brazil's definitely favored, but I wouldn't be surprised if Japan gives them a go.
I'm there with you.
Germany, Paraguay is a great match as well.
Yes, and it's also a nice hot day in London as we are underway at Wimbledon. The most beautiful grass in the world, the green grass of Wimbledon.
It is early in the tournament.
Jovic won for the American women, and I believe Pegula is up a set now as we're watching live. She had a little trouble in the first set, but she won at 7-5, so some Americans to watch there. So there you go.
There you go. Who else is hot and who's not? Well, Brewers with runners in scoring position, well documented.
Not.
Although Bryce Terang might have shaken out of his doldrums yesterday. A couple of flare hits. It's anyway, right?
Any way you can.
Ended up with 3 hits yesterday. He had been cold, and then a couple of bloops. You know, it wasn't like driving the ball, but hey, maybe that's what'll get him off the schneid, and maybe he can get hot and start to pick up the pace for the offense. But that's a spin through Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. You definitely need them. Employee owned for 40 years, taking care of you, and they're going to be busy. If you didn't we told you in April to get the air conditioner looked at. If you didn't listen to us and you got problems with it now when you need it, that's on you.
Yeah.
Donovan Jorgensen's always there for you, so check him out, DonovanJorgensen.com. Hunter Baumgardt joins the party at 7:25. We'll get a live react from him. Missing a little FOMO for Russell Dickerson. Got a chance to meet him, maybe get a picture, and he missed it. We'll talk to Hunter coming up about the Brewers. Take your game balls and kicks. You're in the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. This one might leave a mark. Chance after chance by the Brewers in their rubber game against the Cubs on Sunday. Those chances blown in a 4-3 loss. The game was tied at 1 going into the 10th, but reliever Joel Kunel couldn't find the plate, walking 3 and giving up 3 runs. In the bottom of the 10th, Milwaukee scored 2 and had the bases loaded with nobody out and the tying run on third. But a shallow fly out and a double play ended it. Still at the halfway point of the season, the Brewers do have 50 wins.
Yeah, I think we've done all right. Obviously we haven't played bad, but I don't think we've played to the level we're capable of. I wouldn't say that we've done the best job that we could do. We've played the best that we could play.
That's Christian Yelich. The Brewers still have a 5.5 game lead in the Central. Their homestand continues tonight. Game 1 of a 4-gamer against the Reds. First pitch is at 6:40. And at the World Cup on Sunday, Canada is through to the round of 16. They beat South Africa 1-0. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Biller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 dead. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We're going to tackle what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going down to. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after him and make the play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C-puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Rolling through a Monday in the good land. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew Olson, Armen Sarian, bringing it to you. Billy Schmidt off this week, enjoying some vacay with the family, and then getting away for a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Good on him.
This week. Good on him. Good time to take some summer vacay, and a very summer vacay feeling type of week.
No doubt.
Drew.
No
the heat
doubt.
Coming.
The heat is coming. Summer is here. It's funny, too, because, all right, so we'll complain about it. It's going to last for a couple days, and we'll be back to normal.
Back to normal summer stuff. We
But
really do have it good here in the upper Midwest in the summer.
We do, because I have family, and I'm sure you do too, family and friends who live in Arizona. And I love Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I've spent many wonderful marches there, because March is like, their March is kind of like our summer. It's just perfect, right? For the most part. But right now, they're in it.
Hot.
It's
Desert.
relentless.
Yeah.
And it's like you go from your air-conditioned house to your air-conditioned car, and then you have to decide whether you're going to sprint to the grocery store from the parking lot. If you park, the dilemma there is you have to park in shade or indoors if possible.
Correct.
Because if you leave your car out, it becomes a hot box, and it's like
to the point where you can get burned by just any surface.
Physically burned by anything you touch in your car. Yeah.
Brutal stuff.
So the thing is, a lot of people will park in shade and then have to walk, 50 yards more than they would, or 100 yards more in the heat, but they would rather do that than park in the sun and be closer to the building. And then when let's say you go to the grocery store and you're coming from outside and you've walked 100 yards and you're hot, you hit that 68, 70 degree air conditioning, you almost need a sweatshirt to carry with you to go inside, because there's no relief. It's either way too cold inside or way too hot outside.
It's very similar to if you ever have been to Vegas in the dead of summer when it's 110 and you get that intense desert heat. It's the same thing, because they pump the AC so hard. So you're you're constantly battling the dichotomy of
you're
unbearably hot and unbearably cold.
It's a weird deal. And in your house, even if your house is 75 and it's 100 outside, you feel cool.
You feel cool.
But
and if you need a real cold to sleep,
their summers are not unlike Wisconsin winters when it's below zero. Like you just don't want to spend any time at all outside. Minimize it as much as you can.
which we can't imagine, right? Because we love being outside
Exactly.
in the summer here. So in a lot of ways, we have it good. You know?
Yeah, I always dream about going to some place with a temperate climate. And I think to myself, like, if I lived in Arizona or like even Florida, I would have a hard time, on an NFL Sunday when it's 80 degrees out.
Being inside,
being a cheeser, I have to be outside.
Yeah.
I have to go outside and do something outside and enjoy it because we are taught, and it's in our DNA to relish that weather.
Because it doesn't come around all the
So
time.
I'm like, why would I sit inside and watch football? Well, it's what you do, but like I would be compelled to. And I wonder how long it would take me to lose that and be, well, tomorrow will be good too. Who cares?
Get used to it.
Yeah.
Take it for granted.
I don't know how long it would take me. Probably about the amount of time, like the blood thins. And I talk to people who moved to Arizona or Florida and they're like, oh God, like even like 50 degrees now is freezing for me.
Sure.
You know?
It's probably the same amount of time you get used to like.
I think I could live in Phoenix with just like a Champion sweatshirt, a hoodie. And
probably.
I'm good.
Now, as opposed to like Southern California where it does get cold at night, even though the temperature is nice.
Yeah.
They get the winds and they get it. But the thing, it's sort of like, I think it's sort of like being a Braves fan in the 90s, or if I could indulge you on this, Drew, it's like being a Brewers fan in the 2020s, where you've won so much in the regular season, you're kind of getting used to it. And here we are now, 50-31, halfway point of the season, winning with such regularity that one series loss feels like, as it's felt this weekend, total disaster, when really it isn't. I mean, if you lose 2 or 3, this is normal for baseball teams, but for Brewers fans, it hasn't been normal. So we've won so much the last few years, we're kind of used to this and being entitled to regular season wins in a way.
And again, like Dolph said, there's a Cubs multiplier because the frustration mounted, and it's been we're going on 10 days of the Brewers offense just sputtering.
Yeah.
Pitching's been incredible, so they've been keeping their heads above water. But
especially with the runners in scoring position, Drew. That's that thing.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's how rallies, that's how runs are scored, generally speaking.
Unless you're hitting a lot of homers, that's it.
Yeah, then you're gonna hit 4 solo homers or something. Yeah,
right.
Gotta have it. So, yeah, it's been abysmal. You get the bases loaded with a chance to win the game yesterday. Couldn't come through. Just rough situation. So
especially
that was
against your rival.
Yeah, so that was the Cubs multiplier. But time for our superheroes of the day, brought to you by Current Electric. You see the superheroes on the side of the vans? Well, they're superheroes. Call current.com, the website. I'm sure they're going to be busy as well.
Yes, along with our friends.
We don't need any of that severe weather you talked about because call Current. If you lose electricity and you lose air conditioning in this weather, you're in the danger zone. So call current.com, superheroes. Superhero of the day, we mentioned it with Dolph. I got to say, Contreras and Churio Friday night for Venezuela.
Absolutely.
That was really cool moments. Just like couldn't script it. Contreras has the message to Venezuela written on his chest protector. They're wearing the VZ on the hats, and it's just, you can tell that their thoughts are with their country. And some of the videos I'm seeing of Venezuela, just the devastation.
Yeah,
of these
brutality.
earthquakes. Just awful.
As natural disasters go in weather, earthquakes are always some of the worst because of their residual effects on the community and how long it takes sometimes to recover. And especially if you don't have the infrastructure ready. So it's definitely difficult for those guys to try and probably stay focused day to day on their task and their other obligations. I mean, I'll say this. I mean, there was a great event. I think Waukesha Sports Cards had a great event over the weekend that Billy took young Carson to see his favorite player, William Contreras.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a great picture with him and all that. Those are the things you have to keep a smile on when you're thinking in the back of your mind of the hole in your heart for the despair and all the loved ones that and all the people struggling. It's got to be a very, very difficult burden to bear on a daily basis. So I think those guys are really great candidates, Drew, for the superheroes of the day.
Here's another curveball for you, superhero of the day, Linda Cohn.
Yeah, Linda
ESPN
Cohn
legend.
Saying goodbye, right?
She said goodbye, hosted her last Sports Center.
Had the chance to move on, didn't want to move back to Bristol, right? Was that the story?
She was on Sports Center for 34 years.
Amazing. 5,500
episodes.
One of the trailblazers, indeed, and one of those voices and faces that we've grown accustomed to and growing up during what we think of as the golden age of Sports Center, right? I heard her on with Dan Patrick last week, and it was a fantastic conversation. And kudos to her. Congrats on a fantastic career. Not sure if it's totally over, I think it's over with ESPN, right?
Yeah, she's out at the end of the month. So,
but she's
66. I don't know what else she wants to do.
Well, maybe she might do a little. I mean, everyone does a podcast.
She didn't want to move back to Bristol, which I get. And contract up. So they said, like, you want to move back to Bristol? No, she likes living by the beach in Southern California.
Yeah, why not? She said it's a mutual parting of ways.
Yeah, she's going to do YouTube. Yeah, her and Stan Verrett, their contracts are up. So they were told, you can move to Bristol or adios.
Nice to have and they can probably do their own. She can do her own venture, like you mentioned, if she wants to in her time. So it's crazy to think that she. I can't believe she's that old in some ways.
Iconic. Yeah, she started on SportsCenter in '92. So that's right in the teeth of your fandom.
Yeah, I mean, basically, through my consciousness, I grew up watching her with that group. Obviously the great SportsCenter anchors, Patrick, Rich, Stuart Scott, Charlie Steiner, all those guys. She's part of that. Tarico even, and a trailblazer. I mean, that was the golden generation for a lot of people in SportsCenter history. So SVP was a young buck. So yeah.
So those are our superheroes of the day, brought to us by Current Electric. Callcurrent.com is the website. Game balls and kicks of the balls. Let's have some more. 877-794-1973. It's kind of like in the tire and strip club ads. But did you see what happened in the Algeria-Austria match in the World Cup?
Briefly, Drew.
It was one of these deals where both teams advanced. All they needed was a draw, and it looked like they were just gunning for that. Like it was
taking the draw.
It looked like that neither team was trying, and then they get to extra time, and both teams scored goals. So it was still a draw.
Right.
But for almost like for most of the play, it was like nobody was trying.
They were just kind of giving
it was
back
just
to each other.
It was just patty cake.
Yeah.
It was absolutely from the 65th minute to the 91st. Algeria. And here's a soccer stat for you analytics people. So from the 65th minute, like basically the whole second half, right? Algeria completed 279 of 282 passes.
Which is good, right? In your head, you're like, oh, that's
Austria
a great number.
Completed 80 of 85.
Which means
only 2 shots were attempted. It was like they were just, okay, the score's even. Let's just
run the clock out.
Let's just run the clock.
Yeah.
It's like watching a basketball game where both teams are in the 4 corners.
Right.
And there's no shot clock.
Used to be a bigger problem, I think, in the 80s and 90s when teams were awarded 2 points for a win and 1 point for a draw, if I'm not mistaken. And then when they started giving the 3rd point for a win, it really changed the game for the better, where you don't see a lot of this anymore. But there are some teams, Drew, as we get closer to qualifying for the knockout stage, that if they need a certain position, they're happy to take it with a little gentleman's agreement. You see this in a weird kind of comparison. You see this in poker, where you're in these big tournaments, they get closer to the money and everyone tightens up just to try and, to try and sail through.
So then, like, Algeria scores and we're in stoppage time and they score and it's like, oh, it's going to be a great victory. And so the thing is that Iran got screwed because Iran needed not a draw to get through. Right. So they're kind of sitting there. Mm-hmm. And then Austria scored in the final minute of stoppage time. When stoppage time in soccer is a little bit hinky, right?
It's like a wonky thing.
When the referee decides to blow the whistle, he blows the whistle.
We saw that in the USA-Turkey match. Yeah.
This was like the worst. It's like it's a weird roller coaster of a game. It went from being like the worst game anybody's ever seen, like paint drying,
to the craziest
finish.
Yeah.
So it's just absurd. How that happened. But no one's really paying attention because it was kind of like it's Algeria and Austria. Right.
Yeah.
It's all good. But, meanwhile, Canada's becoming a darling. The hosts are still alive, although I wouldn't be surprised if Mexico gets a challenge in their next match. The U.S. expectations are high. I didn't like what the U.S. did against Turkey. You guys talked about it.
Mm-hmm. Didn't need the win, but didn't exactly
didn't need to flatline either. It wasn't inspiring. So now they have to get the mojo back and
with their starters, because they had 9 of 11 guys starting that weren't regular starters.
Yep.
So they have to get the mojo started. Now, obviously in the knockout stage, no room for error. So
no room for error.
I think a lot of Americans that like tournament play, this is your time.
But Canada winning, and that's the biggest win for Canada. And I think the U.S. wins. If the U.S. gets to the semis, it'd be epic.
Would be awesome. It's been a while. So
yeah.
So we have one kicking the ball.
Unraveling here for the Brewers.
John Kurzawa on YouTube. How in the heck would let so many Cubs fans invade the AmFam this weekend? Embarrassing. Here we go again, Drew.
Here we go again. You can't stop it, man.
What
People, when you sell your tickets to Brewers fans, well, you put them up on StubHub, you can't dictate who buys them.
If you're a Brewers fan, you have to go and outspend and outgo and not avoid. That's just, it's the same old thing. If you don't want Cubs fans there, you have to take those seats. And if a lot of you do it, and one here and two here and two here, that's thousands that eventually turn the tide. Otherwise, this is what's going to happen.
It did seem more pronounced yesterday.
It did. Because I think a lot of
What was it like on Friday for you? You could tell?
50-50, but still a very pronounced Cubs. I mean,
it seemed 75-25 to me yesterday.
I think it was more on Sunday. It is what it is. The weekend days, especially when the Cubs
Although,
are not.
I'm sure when Churio hit the first pitch homer on Saturday night, it was pretty loud.
I would think so. I think you'll get a lot, and you'll get louder voices both ways.
Yeah,
because everyone's
depending on the flow of the game.
When Pete Crow Armstrong was introduced,
he was booed.
He was booed and cheered and booed. It was just incredibly loud both ways because those are the lightning rod moments. So we know the drill. I'll say this. We didn't hear that in the playoffs last year. So when the games were important, not that these aren't, but when the games were most important, Brewers fans were there. I think Brewers fans just say, I'll avoid this one. Not worth it. Money-wise and emotion-wise, so you're going to get it. So, John, I have nothing else to say except that's the way it is unless Brewers fans go.
Yeah.
It's just the way it's going to be.
That's the way it goes.
Quick kick in the balls here, Drew.
Unraveling here for the Brewers.
I didn't mention this yet in the show, but I'll take one. Of all the bruises I got over the weekend, because of this, the worst was the ego. I fell down the stairs. So I'll take a kick in the balls for that. I fell down the stairs at home this weekend.
At home?
Yeah. Luckily, didn't have anybody with me, like a child in my hands or anything. But that's a bruise to the ego. If you ever fall down the stairs, you slip down the carpet, boom, 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 right on the right in the butt. So, and I slammed right into the baby gate.
Better doing it there than at AmFam Field or in front of people.
I just wish it was yeah, for sure. I just wish I had tape running so I could have got some content.
No security
not that
footage?
Not that I could have posted.
Someone would have hacked it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Not that I could have posted it because it was hacked, but that might have given me some at least.
Did you at least did you
videos.
step on a Lego or something, or was there something else?
No, I slipped on the carpet on the stairs and whoop back just a few stairs. It wasn't that bad.
Nothing bruised except your ego.
No, I got a couple bruises and stuff, but the worst is the ego. There's a little rug burn for you. You can't really tell, but yeah, that was one this weekend where I'm like, wow. This really just happened to me. So listen, it could have been a lot worse. Don't everyone please go slow in your stairs when you're getting older. I just, you just things that happen and you're like, how did I do that? What am I doing? It's just unbelievable. Johnson, I'm working the game Friday. Definitely more Cubs fans than Brewers. At least sounded that way. I think the weekend has a big factor in that.
Yeah.
Cubs fans would rather come up on a weekend, enjoy our stadium, enjoy our parking, enjoy the relative ease of American Family Field.
Downtown for the weekend, I did see a lot of people pre-gaming, for night games. Now there's a question for you too, and it's like it ties in with Summerfest because it was a busy. Like I think the Cedarburg Strawberry Festival this weekend.
Strawberry Fest was this weekend.
That's a big deal.
Big deal.
You had Summerfest, which draws a lot. You had the Brewers and Cubs, which draws a lot. There was tons of stuff going on. Always is. We pack a lot in the summer because we have to, right? But I did hear people say like that Brewers Cubs game on Saturday. You make that a 3:00 first pitch or a 1:00 first pitch, people can go to Summerfest after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a good Wisconsin doubleheader.
Would be nice.
One of the best. And then I have a friend of the program was complaining that, he hates the Summerfest setup now because it doesn't hook into Sunday night. Because yesterday would have been a perfect day to go to the Brewers game and then go to Summerfest.
Yeah, and Sunday
and
night
they're dark on Sunday.
Sunday night was always a great Sunday fun day, Summerfest day.
Yes. So it would be nice if they brought back a Sunday, like, hook it over. Do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I'm with you on that, Drew. No doubt. I don't mind it. I mean,
you do that 3 weekends and then you're plus 1 days because it used to be 11 days.
Yeah, and the not controversy, but the debate is always, if you're nostalgic about the old festival format, the straight run. But
we just like that you could take 2 weeks off and just go on a bender.
Nice. But then it's like if you're doing a weekend only, do you prefer Thursday, Saturday, or Friday to Sunday? For me, it's nice to have all 3 days to say I'm off. Like, Thursday night is tough because you go to work on Friday. Now, obviously, you do the same Monday morning. I get it, but you can manage your time a little bit differently and things like that.
Yeah.
There's no perfect system, right?
Exactly. Summerfest is one of Milwaukee's favorite things to experience and complain about.
That's a perfect way to put it, Drew. Can we sneak in one more
let's
text before from the 715? Sneaking this text before we get to the break and get the Hunter. Morning men, disappointing loss yesterday. Playoff scenario game. They had opportunities that weren't capitalized on. And that's exactly what happened in the playoffs. When Vaughn tripled to start off an inning and their approach to get a fly ball was abysmal. Divisional game in Murphy's Sunday lineup was bull crap. Sanchez had the pass ball with the Uribe that cost the run. Contreras makes the play. So just lamenting all the things that happened. I push back against the playoff scenario.
Sanchez had a pass ball?
Yeah, I think he meant
was Ashby spiked a curveball.
Ashby spiked the curve. So that's not a pass ball.
It's not a pass ball. The ball
pitch.
bounced like 3 feet in front of the plate.
Yeah.
There was not much of a chance you could do anything with it.
What I would push back is why is yesterday a playoff scenario, but not the 50 wins they had? Those games every game is potentially a quote unquote playoff scenario. These were all ball games.
Did they not? Didn't they sweep a series at Wrigley earlier this year?
Yes. Didn't they play well against a lot of good teams? They've done that.
Yeah.
So obviously we've grown to understand now that what happens in the regular season has no indication of the playoffs. It doesn't indicate success or failure either way. So I always push back on the whole that was a playoff scenario thing because I'm like, well, so is every game. Every game's a baseball game. And a lot of times the Brewers have come through this year in those moments.
We've said it, and it's the Wayne Larrabee. It's not who you play, it's when you play them. The Cubs just played the Brewers on a weekend when the Brewers couldn't buy a hit with runners in scoring position.
Unless the Brewers win 120 games and go undefeated in the playoffs, there's always going to be negative moments.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
That's just the way it is. So
exactly.
I think you just got to try and get through this tough time.
And like I said, the Yankees just got swept by their bitter rival in a last place Red Sox team.
Yeah.
The Braves just went 1-5 on a West Coast trip and lost to the horrible Giants, who are just getting ready for the fire sale of all fire sales. Like, a little perspective. Those are two of the teams punching in the Brewers class right now.
In terms of quote Sunday lineups, managers do not think of the game, the season, the way you do. The way that we do as fans is every moment is important. Like the last, important to win every game. And yes, Murph wants to win every game, but you have to think about the season as a whole.
Did the Sunday lineup bother you if the Brewers had won 1-0 on a Gary Sanchez homer?
No, you would have been totally happy about the result.
And Contreras can't play every inning. Like he needs days off.
Yes.
He needs some load management. Like a day off a week isn't the worst thing for a catcher who catches and the gets beat up by foul tips.
You have to give guys time and cycle them in.
And you got to have guys ready, right? Plus, Mitchell didn't play because he cramped up the night before and like whatever. I mean, people just don't understand.
I knew that'd fire you up, Drew.
Yeah,
We have
just
Hunter
don't
next.
understand. Hunter is up next. We'll talk to him. We'll talk to him about his FOMO about Russell Dickerson and more. Hunter Baumgardt joins us next. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Continuing the Monday edition of the Huddle, the game balls and kicks of the balls edition of the Huddle. Drew Wilson, Armen, Sarian bringing it to you. Fox Sports Radio 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, worldwide on the iHeart app. And we are happy to be joined by our pal Hunter Baumgardt, fresh from the ballpark of Brewers Cubs. Hunter, thanks for getting up early with us.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was quite an atmosphere all 3 days. Obviously, lots of Cubs fans, lots of Brewers fans. The series are always close, and it was fitting that, of course, the series came down to a 10th inning and who could score more, and Cubs scored one more run than the Brewers. They took the series.
Yeah, a lot of people asking or commenting about it seemed like more of a Cubs crowd, louder for Cubs fans. You think that was true in your experience, Hunter? Was it just that they were louder, or there a more number of Cubs fans than what we saw maybe last year for the playoffs, for instance?
Yeah, I think maybe a little more than the playoffs. I think, I think the Brewers fans are ready for the playoffs and wanted to go and see their team win that series. I think this weekend was, there were a fair amount of Cubs fans in there. And look, it's tough because the last two games there was a little more to cheer about for the Cubs, especially offensively, and that's really when the crowd gets the most wild, is when something happens offensively. So that, I think the last two nights kind of showed that, last two games, and especially in that 10th inning yesterday when they were able to score those 3 runs at the top of the 10th inning, got real loud in there. So that's something we know with the rivalry. Look, I mean, Brewers fans are really loud at Wrigley when they went and swept them earlier this season. So it's something we know that happens in this rivalry. Brewers fans, if you don't want it to happen, I guess just go in there and buy all the seats. But I don't know what else to say. That's gonna happen, and that's part of this rivalry, and that's part of what makes it fun.
Hunter, in terms of producing with runners in scoring position, the numbers are ghastly. It's been anemic for 2 weeks, and yet the Brewers are still 5-5 in their last 10 games. My question is, how? I know it's been great pitching, but they're scoring just enough to win. Like Friday night wasn't exactly an offensive onslaught. What are you seeing from this offense, and what are you gathering from talking to guys in the clubhouse?
Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, what Yelich said yesterday is basically like these types of things happen throughout a season. Look, when you go through 162 games, like I've been thinking about this more recently, like there's just so, even if you're a really good team, and the Brewers are, there's just going to be ups and downs because of such a long season. Like in football, okay, you play 17 games. There's just way less of a sample size for things to happen, for things to go wrong, for things to go great. Like that's just, and it's as fans, it's like we get upset because you want your team to do great every night. But over 162, even if you're a really good team, Drew, you say this, even if you win 100 games, there's 62 nights where you lose. So like that's, I think, the mentality, and what Christian Yelich is always kind of first to say when we talk to him in these stretches is like, there are going to be these times. We know we're a good team. Brandon Woodruff echoed the same sentiment yesterday. Those two guys have been in the league the longest in that clubhouse. And so it's just been, as far as on the Brewers. So they know that there are going to be ups and downs throughout a season. They've done a lot of good things, right? The starting pitching has been phenomenal over the last 6 days. That's why they're 4-2 in their last 6. But unfortunately, the runners in scoring position has been where they've faltered. I mean, that 10th inning is a great example of it yesterday. And they went 5 for 28 with runners in scoring position against the Cubs. Over the week, they went 6 for 51. But overall, you look at June, they have 10 losses in June, the Brewers do. And 8 of those are by 1 or 2 runs. So they've only been blown out once, and that was Saturday night in the 6-run loss. The other one was a 3-run loss. Otherwise, it's been losing by 1 or 2 runs. This team has been right in it every game. It's either been bullpen or not able to come through, and a combination of both yesterday, even though the bullpen was really, really good, through the 9th inning yesterday, especially Uribe going 1 2/3 for the first time this season, his longest outing since last July, and he was really good. Yeah. And McGill as well. And then, Kunal just could not find it after recording the first 2 outs. So I think this team will bounce back. I don't think this is indicative of what the rest of the season is going to be. I think they're in a little bit of a slump right now offensively, but they're still able to tread water at 5-5 in their last 10 because they're starting pitching, no matter who they throw out there right now, is getting the job done.
Terang got a couple hits yesterday. He's been cold. Like Yelich and Terang to me were the guys that were cold and need to get going, right? Because they're kind of the engine, right?
You count on them, yeah.
Yeah, those are the guys you expect. And Yelich especially, Is it as simple, Hunter? And I haven't looked at any box scores, but I see it with Yelich. Is it as simple as they're not getting as many walks?
Good question.
Could be.
Because to me, it's like, I know Yelich is like, he's been punching out a lot lately. He's not drawing walks. And the Brewers are notorious for grinding and drag them and like get the having good at bats. But it seemed like maybe in this Cubs series, I wasn't paying extra close attention, but it didn't seem like they're drawing as many walks as they do usually. And I'm, what is that? Is it good pitching? Is it just, that's something that stands out to me, is because every multi-run rally generally has a walk or two sprinkled in. We've seen it with the Brewers. God knows, Ashby, Patrick, you walk somebody, you're in danger, right? Mm-hmm. And it's the walks have come back to bite Brewers pitching, and people are complaining about the bullpen and stuff, and that's a part of it. But it just seems to me the offense, one of the things missing is walks. They're not that exciting, but they sure are effective.
Very important.
And if you're going to put up crooked numbers, you're going to need a walk or two sprinkled in, because it's hard to string together 4 or 5 hits.
Totally. I mean, yesterday they looked like they had 4 walks, and the day before they had 1. And the Friday night game they had 5. So the game that they had the most walks in, they won the series. Like, I think it just, so there is
traffic. Now, granted, you can get guys on, and if you don't get them in, especially wasting a leadoff triple by Andrew Vaughn, that those are unconscionable. But it just seems like that maybe it's something when they start drawing walks, we'll start to see multi-run innings,
especially a team that doesn't hit a lot of home runs. All that on base is very important. Your logic now flawed, by the way, Drew. They're tied for second in Major League Baseball in on base percentage, which of course is a big indicator.
Right.
The Dodgers are 1, tied for second with the Pirates, which is kind of surprising. I wouldn't have expected that, but and to that end, when you have a lack of home runs, which the Brewers are not a big home run hitting team, we know that they probably are going to get their share, but not a lot. It magnifies it a little bit, right, Hunter, when you don't have the runners in scoring position, base hits, right? That magnifies it.
Yeah, it just didn't seem like they were having those team at bats that they're so good at doing a lot of the times. I mean, that's one of the things this offense prides itself on, is getting team at bats, getting it to the next guy. Mitchell had a great at bat. I mean, he went up there looking to just do what he could to get it to the next guy. And then Bowers comes up there when you clearly see this guy's struggling, and Wicks has not been good for the Cubs. His ERA was over 15 coming into that appearance, only a couple of outings, but still. And Bowers comes up there and swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Like, that's where it went wrong. Like that, he threw 4 out of 5 balls coming into the game against Mitchell, and then you swing at the first pitch. Like, just take a strike in that scenario.
Well, it's we were talking about that before, Hunter. It's going to be a strike because he doesn't want to walk. He wants to get ahead. If he slaps that off the wall, no one's ripping him for swinging at the first pitch. It's a little bit like,
I guess
if you're going to swing, don't get cheated and don't guess fastball and then pop up a changeup. I don't mind that if it's I'm looking dead red. This guy's going to throw a fastball for a strike because he wants to get ahead of me, and then just if you line out at somebody, it's different than a pop up. It's a lot of it is results based on that.
Yeah, I mean, well, his job there too is just to get the ball to the outfield, tie the game.
Yes.
So if he can do that, so yeah, there's an argument to both sides. I still think. You just gotta, I don't know, you just gotta be a little patient there, Gary, as well. Although Gary swung at one pitch, and then that strike that was kind of right down the middle there you could tell he's like, oh, that's the one I should have swung at, and then it was he was trying to battle after that, and the grounds into the double play. So look, I don't think those
the mechanics of that too, when they hit Contreras when they did, and they didn't have a catcher, so they couldn't run for Sanchez late in the game. Yep. That's rough.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if Murph's ever had the flexibility he does right now. Like they're every night it seems like their whole bench is emptied, and he's going with different guys in different scenarios, lefty, righty, just kind of deciding where to put guys. I think sometimes it's worked, and obviously sometimes it hasn't. But I feel like more often than times it's worked. But I think overall he has a lot of flexibility right now, and he's using it. But then you get into those scenarios where you get in the extra innings, and there might be times where, you don't have a choice there. You have nobody on the bench. Like Mitchell, he had the cramp in the 9th inning. If he wouldn't have been able to finish that at bat, you would have seen a pitcher come in and had to hit because they had no more position players. And that was just the 9th inning in a 6-run ball game. So he's using a lot of guys in different scenarios and using his flexibility, which I like. But sometimes then if you get late in a ball game, it can come back to bite you a little bit.
Yeah, good point. The Brewers are a deep team, and they use that depth, but sometimes that'll get you. Cooper Pratt, when he first came up with the excitement and the hoopla, Had a nice few first games at the plate. His numbers were fine. But now one for his last 16, I think, kind of hit a slump. That's a normal adjustment, I feel like, for a lot of guys that come up with the I don't want to say the hype, but expectations. And as MLB pitchers start adjusting to seeing these guys for the first time, Hunter, would you say a normal adjustment for him, normal process, nothing to be concerned about, or we want to see Cooper get it going a little bit here?
Yeah, I mean, I really liked his Friday night game where he had 2 walks. He scored 2 times. Like, he had a really nice game on Friday, and he was 1 for 2 in that game, but he was on base 3 times. Like, that was really good to see. That at bat late in the game yesterday where he's swinging a ball that was literally a little over his head. I mean, that's kind of the example of, just still trying to learn the major leagues a little bit, right? This is his first taste of Brewers Cubs, probably the most intense series that he's played in, obviously at the major league level for sure. And so I think there is kind of that learning curve where I think pitchers are learning him a little more. He's still trying to find his footing, and it takes a little bit. Overall, I really like what I've seen in the type of player he has been. Just as Murph said when he got up, just getting on base, helping the team in any way he can. Has it been as maybe prolific as it was in that first week? In the second week, not so much, but I think there's promise there. I think you're getting more dynamically on offense than you obviously did with Rengifo, whether the average is better or not.
Great point.
As of late, right? You're getting the base running's better, the walks are better. Like, there are it's more pleasing to the eye, the brand of baseball he's playing. Obviously, the defense is really good as well. He bobbled a little one yesterday, but still able to recover and get him out. So I think I really like what I've seen from him at shortstop, and excited to see if he can do these types of things in his first month. What can he do 2 months, 3 months, and down the stretch for this team? I'm excited.
Here's a deep one for you as we continue our chat with Hunter Baumgardt, brought to us on the program by Import Minded, your vehicle experts on South 27th Street, just north of 894. I noticed like the Cubs are it seemed like they're stingy. Their hitters didn't challenge a lot of pitches that I thought were challengeable. And I'm like, I wonder if that's a Craig thing or if it's just a hitter thing. You know who's last in the major leagues in hitter challenges, the amount of hitter challenges of the ABS system?
It might be
your Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Their hitters are last. 54 challenges. They have a 41% success rate, so it's not very good.
That's ironic based on what we just said.
Led by Wild Bill, the Brewers are the 3rd most challenged for pitchers. Like so Wild Bill is tapping the hat. 129 challenges for the Brewers, 72 wins. So they're at a 56% winning percentage on pitching challenges. Their hitting challenges are at 41%.
That's I know that Contreras has been in quite a slump as of late with those. I think he was 1 for 12 at one point. And then I know Gary had a big one yesterday late in that game. He turned a walk into a strikeout.
Huge.
The 3-2. There's no bigger ABS than a 3-2 pitch. It's a ball. Like, whoa.
Now, sometimes that can be skewed, right? Because there are situations where it's just worth it to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you
you're
might
right.
know it's probably a low chance, but why not?
Sanchez, I think, missed one by like 3 inches on the outside corner, too.
It is ironic, though, if a team is so good at taking
walks.
But
I was just stunned that, the Brewers would be last in hitter challenges. Like the amount.
I don't know what necessarily goes into that. I think everybody's still adjusting to it to some degree, but we're now a half a season in with this, and I think there's going to be a lot to learn. I think definitely this next off season you're going to be able to learn more. I bet teams are going to kind of go back to the drawing board and say, okay, what did we do right? What did we do wrong? When did we challenge? I'm sure organizations are going to kind of deep dive into that in the off season and say, what can we do better? And maybe they're doing that as we speak, but it is interesting because obviously somebody has to be last. It's the Brewers when it comes to their hitter challenges. It seems Gary loves to challenge. I think he's late in his career and he's like, man, I wish I would have had this 10 years ago. So he's kind of, it feels like he's doing it left and right a little bit. But otherwise, look, you have to be mindful of situation. And that's what the Brewers preach to be at the very beginning of this, is it just has to be the right situation. And then kind of we heard Murph say a little more like, yeah, but then also, if you know it's a strike, challenge the pitch. I think there was some of that as well, where he maybe encouraged them to challenge a little more. And unfortunately, maybe that's where William has had a tough stretch over the last, week or two of those ABS challenges. So there is a balance there, because if it's a pitch you think is a strike and you're behind the plate and you're like, well, that's a strike, and even if there's 2 outs and nobody on in the third inning, you want to challenge because you want to get that strike call. But then you also have to make sure, okay, we only got 2 of these throughout the game, so we got to be wise with it.
Good point.
That's right. All right, Hunter, a couple of things here. The Orthopedic Associates Injury Report, orthowisconsin.com, the website. Logan Henderson with a great outing yesterday. Is he on track for one more and then coming up, or what's the prognosis?
I would think so. We'll talk to Murphy about it today, see how he bounces back here. But last we heard, earlier last week when they were in Cincinnati, he was still having a little bit of the back soreness. So they were kind of monitoring that. But it sounds like he was at least good to pitch last night, and he pitched well. 3 innings, 7 strikeouts, didn't allow a run. Really good from Henderson in those 3 innings. So I would think they're going to want him to do another one, maybe 5 innings, and maybe that's Thursday or Friday of this week. So it's possible he makes a start before, maybe they target that doubleheader day if he's healthy, that Tuesday in St. Louis, because if he pitches Thursday, maybe they had 4 days and then he's back maybe on Tuesday in that doubleheader in some capacity, whether it's starting out of the bullpen, whatever it is. But I also think there is a chance they go, well, you know what? We're looking at our pitching staff. Let's try to see if we can get this guy healthy, give him an extra week through the All-Star break, and then have him full go in the metaphorical second half of the season. So I think there's going to be a decision point there. Probably a lot of it's going to see how he feels this week, see how he feels if he does a second rehab outing later this week, and then go from there. Otherwise, we should get an update on Coleman Crow. He's been throwing. I've been seeing him throw in the outfield and stuff. So obviously he's throwing. Hopefully he's back sooner rather than later. We should get an update on him today. Ooh. And so those are really the 2 main guys you're looking to get back, especially Henderson. Henderson, the guy you want back.
Been pitching good. Hunter, great job for us. We'll be listening to the baseball pregame show tonight. Brewers and Reds, Robert Gasser on the mound. So, and also condolences for you missing Russell Dickerson, not once, but twice.
Tough. Saturday
at the BMO Harris Pavilion at Summerfest, and Sunday at the ballpark, where he threw out the first pitch and performed a little song in mid-game.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. It was good to see him at the game. Unfortunately, I didn't know he was throwing out the first pitch until he was throwing out the first pitch. I would have went down there and at least gotten a video or something like that.
Yeah.
But, yes,
he'll be back. Dolph told us his wife's from Cedarburg, so he'll be back.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. She
maybe he'll
and
be
the family are Wisconsin
potential sing the anthem at the World Series game or something.
I like that. Let's make
awesome.
it and find out.
Make that happen. All right. Hunter, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Hunter Baumgardt, you'll hear him on the baseball pregame show before the Brewers play the Reds tonight at American Family Field. It's time for closing ceremonies. We're going to wrap things up with a little wake and bake story brought to us by happyplacehemp.com. That is next. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Closing ceremonies for the Monday edition of the Huddle. Drew and Armen bringing it to you. Billy off this week. It's time for a Wake and Bake story brought to us by HappyPlaceHemp.com. This one's a doozy. So are the products that Rob and Chris make in Muskego. HappyPlaceHemp.com. Use the code Huddle for 25% off and free shipping every time you go to the well. This one, Dateline, Lanett, Alabama.
Oh, boy.
There's no such thing as the perfect crime, Armen.
Okay.
But sometimes things go awry. There's a gentleman in this Lanett County. Lanett, Alabama, Chambers County, Alabama. Deputies were dispatched when they found an abandoned car along County Road 86. The car was running.
Oh, boy.
Tailgate was down.
Yeah.
Door was open. There were drag marks from the tailgate. And upon investigation, sheriff's deputies found a pair of bodies.
Oh, no.
That's
All
right.
So, okay.
A couple was found.
Put this on a documentary.
At 10 o'clock. Yeah, this
sounds like a podcast, right?
This is something.
Okay.
Daniel Robbins and Jessica Folds were found. Jessica Folds had been strangled, and Daniel Robbins died next to her in the fetal position, had a heart attack while dragging her body in the woods to dispose of it.
Oh, my goodness. I don't want to laugh about,
What a horrific story. He strangled his girlfriend,
Yeah.
tried to hide the body in the woods a couple miles from his house,
At least he got karma right away.
and had a heart attack
Yeah.
while he was dragging her. So those, dead bodies, they talk about dead weight. Armen.
That literally is.
Literally
is.
Dead weight.
I don't like to laugh about it.
You can laugh about it. That's a wake and bake story.
It
I mean,
is.
come on.
Well, the victim is, of course, the
Yes, the female was
got
strangled.
But there's a little bit of instant karma, and to have a heart attack on the way dragging the
Heart
dead weight.
attack and died next to her.
Unbelievable. And of course, Alabama. I don't know why.
Yeah, had this
feels
been
right.
Florida man or something, it would have
just
been
feels
different.
right,
But
yeah. It just feels right.
But
Wow.
yeah, that's your wake and bake story today. HappyPlaceHemp.com. Use the code Huddle, 25% off and free shipping. Like I said, no
Karmic.
such thing as the perfect crime, but sometimes,
Sometimes.
oh man, that one just makes you shake your head. Not minimizing the tragedy, but you're right. It's instant justice, instant karma.
What do you think his last thought was? This is ironic.
Oh, yeah. Tomorrow on the program, we welcome back our buddy Bill Schroeder from Brewers TV, hopefully talking about a Brewers victory over the Reds tonight. We will be chopping it up. We'll have Dolph and the usual stuff, and we'll be buying and selling and having some fun. Thanks for hanging out with us on this Billy Free Monday. We'll see you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Peace.
Peace.